front office the last 2 years gave me a bird's eye view of what it is behind the curtain and how things are operated. And as a player, you always think how things are going, but you don't really know.
Then a wheel route is going to be hit as he throws, and this is going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the Rainbow Warriors.
Here she has it. Cross. Under. Unders. Cherry on top. SDFC go to the conference semifinals. SDFC 4. Portland Timbers, non-SDFC wins the series.
Now live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, John and Jim, tons to react to. A busy weekend stretching into Monday with the Craig Stammen news now officially official. With the press conference, we will react. SDFC victorious, which is awesome. Darren Smith is going to join us. Annie Halpern, I don't know the last time Annie was on the show. It's been months since, what was it been? A month and a half since Annie's been on the show?
She was on Friday.
Here's the thing, though. I treat the show a little bit like you treat the show, and I'm not on the show. It's almost like the show doesn't exist.
What? Dude, okay, hold on. So
that's how you treat it?
I tagged you in everything we do.
Did you? I might not have seen it this time.
Now, again, you were traveling to Hawaii, so maybe you didn't see it.
I honestly don't think I did in this instance.
But this morning, you text me who's on the show today. You go, Annie 2:30, Darren 3, and then Will Brinson 4:30.
Yep.
And I go, okay, well, we had Annie on the show on Friday.
I was like, yeah, good one.
And you thought I was joking because you said, I told Annie you weren't on the show today and she agreed to come on. I'm like, well, hold on.
Like, that's what I told her about you on Friday.
Like, I was being serious, dude.
Oh, I thought you were completely kidding. Because, listen, sometimes, I don't know. I just figured it's Friday show. You're just like, whatever. It's Friday show.
Whatever.
Just play back the Thursday show, pretend like it's live and just move on with our lives. Anyway, are you texting Annie?
No, I'm not texting Annie.
I texted Annie and said, I didn't know you were on Friday. She said, yes, Jim. Hold on. Let me read this before I read on air. If it's no, you're definitely no, she's coming on. So now she's trying to say we don't have to have her on. No. We need you.
Please.
You're the show. Anyway, so Annie Halpern will join us again for the second time in 2 shows coming up at 2:30. She was inside the building today at Petco Park. We'll start there. Congratulations off the top to SDFC. They're in the Western Conference semifinals. You hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760 in 2 weekends.
Amazing atmosphere. They played one of their best matches in a while, scoring very early. Anders Dreyer, of course, he scored a couple goals in that game. I was listening to Darren and Warren Barton on the call. Darren, fantastic call, by the way. I got to tell him that at 3:00. And they just won going away. So there's an international period here until their next match, which isn't until the 24th of this month. But now we go to single elimination, and the road to the MLS Cup finals goes through San Diego.
Yeah, until the finals. There's even a scenario where the final would be played here if SDFC can get through the Western Conference, but that is far from obviously a guarantee both ways. So Darren will join us coming up at 3 p.m. Aztecs basketball, as Jim told you, gets a win. San Diego State football, they didn't, obviously, on Saturday in Hawaii. Boise State still this massive game where first place is on the line in the Mountain West, so we'll get into that coming up as well. But we have to start with Craig Stammen, who is now officially the Padres manager. He was introduced to the media. I thought we both picked up a point of contention or distinction today, which was...
You heard it too?
Yeah,
my ears definitely perked up when he said this.
The reporting suggested that Craig Stammen threw his hat in the ring to be Padres manager after the first round of interviews. When in fact, what Craig Stammen said today was while he was a part of those interviews, AJ Preller then went to him and said, would you like to be considered to be Padres manager? That is a key distinction because the reporting was it was Stammen that pressed the Padres to be their manager when in fact, and if you heard this whole thing, one of my issues with it, I thought Craig Stammen was very good today. I thought he was.
He's great.
He's a comfortable guy. He's a very
no doubt
figure.
He was going to be very welcoming and great on the mic. I had no doubt about that.
And that's not as much about this, and that doesn't mean they're winning World Series. But I was very comfortable in terms of what he said. But one of my concerns, and I said this immediately when we found out it was Craig Stammen, and then you see him up there with his 4 kids and his wife, and you're like, he had to have his arm twisted.
Yep.
So it wasn't him twisting someone's arm. Think about that from a job perspective. Think about your career when you have pursued something heavily or when you've been heavily pursued. Yep. It's a difference. So listen, he seems all in, but everyone's all in November. But the first time you've lost 4 straight and you're in Cincinnati and your family's 2,000 miles away from you and you're like, what am I doing?
Right.
Listen, he's all in for now. I'm just saying, I don't know how long this will be, but Padres managers never last more than a couple of years. He said the right things, but that to me was the big takeaway was the Padres pursued Craig Stammen, not the other way around.
100%. When AC, I believe it was, asked the question.
Yep.
And we'll hear from Craig here in a second. But like, I was doing stuff around the house, so I couldn't be there this morning at the press conference. You were obviously doing stuff as well, but like I had the press conference on my phone and I was doing stuff. And as soon as I heard this answer, I stopped what I was doing and I went to my phone. I was like, wait, what did he say?
Yep.
I had to rewind it to like listen back to it again because we were under the impression that, like you said, it was Craig Stammen who decided to take himself out of the interview process and go to AJ and tell AJ, hey, I actually want my name in the hat now. Like, I think I really want to do this. Well, Craig Stammen, when you hear this, didn't sound like he did that. This is what Craig Stammen said this morning about being hired as the new manager.
Craig, can you take us through just the process of not being a candidate, being a candidate, and then also a second part of the question is, when did you first start to think about being a manager and, you know, all it entails, including talking to us 200 times a year?
Yeah, the process was AJ was very coy about it in the beginning, and I think he's been very understanding of my family situation, how important they are in this process, and even that was a big part of being a special assistant the last couple of years. Was him understanding that situation. And so he was always like probing a little bit, like, would you like to do more? Would you like to be a part of the front office a little bit more? Would you like to be, you know, have a little bit more, like to be a part of the coaching staff? And so I always knew, and he's articulated that to me, you know, several times of what he thinks of me and how he thought I could be successful in some of the leadership roles within the team. So he was very coy about it at the beginning, and then we kind of got through the interview process a little bit at the beginning of it. And then he put the sales kibosh on me and said, you know, I really want you to be a part of this process. I want you to think about being the manager of the Padres. And, you know, my immediate thoughts are to my family. And like, we can't make that happen. We can't move them out of school and move them from Ohio to California. And yeah, I would love to do this. In my core, it's like, yes, I'm 100% in. But there's a lot that goes into making that decision. And so that started the process. Audrey and I had a lot of conversations. We prayed a lot. We fasted about it. We kept having conversations with people that we care about and know that can give us good advice. And then AJ's part of that too. He's pumping me up and telling me, you know, continuing to believe in me and show that belief, him and Josh, a belief that, like, honestly, if they didn't have that strong of a belief, I probably would have not gone down the path as strongly as we did. And eventually it got to the point where it was a yes for us. We made some family decisions to make that happen. And then once we made that decision, it was like there was a peace and a joy that came with it and an opportunity that there's no way that I could say no to. And that's, you know, where we said yes. And luckily enough and thankful enough that it was offered the job. And here we are today, ready to, you know, make something happen.
Can I make a quick point there? Tell me if you would agree or disagree with this. I've been very complimentary of AJ Preller the last 2 seasons by and large. I will be critical here. We'll get into his status moving forward. That's a huge part of this.
Yeah.
But is it operating in good faith to conduct interviews with candidates to then open up the field of candidates because of your own decision? Is it AJ Preller did a first round of interviews with candidates, Albert Pujols, Ruben Niebla, Brian Esposito, maybe others, Nick Hundley. He conducted those interviews and then based on that set of interviews went to Craig Stammen and said, hey, would you like to be considered?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, right?
Isn't that interesting to you?
Like, it sounds like they went through the interview process for the first time around with Craig Stammen in the room doing the interviewing. And that entire time, AJ's looking over to his right thinking, you know what? I actually want that guy.
That's what I'm saying. That's interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting.
That's what I thought.
We talked about it last week. Yeah. I think I might have mentioned it on Friday's show of like, look, if it was AJ who went to Craig and was like, hey, bro, you want to be the manager? I would have a little bit of a problem with that because I want the dude that's the manager of this team
to want the job,
to absolutely want the job from the get-go. And if it was the other way around, which it seems like it is, where it's like, hey, AJ had to twist his arm and he had to go through. I mean, did he say he fasted with his wife?
Yeah, I guess that gives you like mental clarity.
He didn't eat.
He didn't eat.
Didn't eat.
Yeah, that's how hard of a decision it was.
And I don't know, man. Like he says, he's 100% in right now. And it absolutely, you're 100% in right now. But like you mentioned, when it's a Tuesday in Pittsburgh and it's another.
Your son's like, you're not going to be at my game.
Yeah.
I mean, these are real world things. I mean,
because if your first reaction to AJ going to you and saying, hey, do you want to be the manager is absolutely not. I can't do that to my kids. That will eventually come back around. I don't know when, but it eventually will. And look, if Craig is completely okay with his decision and his wife is completely okay with it and his kids are okay with it, then maybe everything's fine.
Potentially, yeah.
But I just look at it from the beginning of, you hired a manager who initially didn't even want the job to begin with. You had to twist his arm and do a whole sales pitch to the guy to be your manager, not the other way around. Craig should be the one that's twisting AJ's arm and giving his sales pitch on why he should be the manager. I found that very interesting because I was led to believe, as I think we all were, that that's what happened. Is Craig during the interview process thought to himself, actually, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah, I also found it interesting, and we said this last week, so it's not shocking to me, but like AJ Preller even said it. He's like, one of the big selling points was he's familiar with the organization and he knows the players. But that's not a reason to hire a manager. In fact, Craig Stammen even admitted that there'll be mistakes because he'll be a first-time manager. He's not going to be perfect, his own words, which is understandable. Nobody is. Nobody's asking him to be perfect. I'm just wondering if you're in the win now mode that he touched on today, you got to have a manager that can capitalize on that opportunity. They got to maximize each player. And they got to maximize the manager's chair. And you're going to have to win at a high level right now. This isn't about 2027 for me. This is about 2026. So Craig Stammen's officially the manager. I was taken aback by Craig Stammen saying AJ Preller came to him and asked him if he would be interested, not the other way around. And that to me will always be the starting point with Craig Stammen now in his managerial tenure. And what's going to happen when adversity strikes? And what are we going to be saying every offseason? Hey, is he going to be back in for next year? Remember what he said at his press conference. Is he going to be back in? Is he fully committed to this job?
Now, for this process, there are, I'm sure, are people that reach out to Preller that try to throw their names in a hat, right? But for the most part, doesn't AJ have to go out and reach out to Albert Pujols and reach out to Nick Hundley and reach out to these people and ask them if they want to become the manager? So,
of course.
I mean, in that aspect of things, AJ does go out and ask people if they're interested. So, I mean, I guess if you want to look at it that way, what's different than him going to Craig Stammen and asking if he wants to be the manager? I think the difference is
he's in the room.
Yeah, he's in the room, and there was no desire in the beginning for him to be the manager, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's like he was his right hand man
because of his family.
To me, also, and we'll talk about this on the other side. And this is another criticism: isn't he just the yes man to AJ? He was his right hand man. So now doesn't he become more of his yes man, just in a different uniform, so to speak, from suit and tie to the manager's chair? We'll discuss. Plus, AJ Preller's future. Nobody asked about it. We'll hear from AJ Preller after the press conference.
Someone did ask.
Our former colleague did ask. We'll hear some audio from Marty on the other side. Plus, Annie Halbern will join us coming up at 2:30. It's John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Annie Halpern, who's not been on the show since Friday. I just texted her back, and she's like, if you don't want me because I was just on, it's no big deal. I said I'd prefer you daily than Jim. She laughed.
You can do the interview solo, just like I did the interview solo Friday.
That's true. If you want to take 10 minutes.
You can ask for the same questions I asked her.
Well, they're different now that we've heard from. Okay, you must have asked her, but she has written about Craig Stammen and known him for like these 8 or 9 years, right? Since 2017.
Yeah.
She's a fan, right? I think on social media, she's been very complimentary.
Look, everybody's a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Craig Stammen, the person, too.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
How could you not be?
I was impressed by him.
Yeah, how could you not be? He was a guy that had the respect of the clubhouse, did his role as the best of his abilities. He was a stand-up guy, always talked to the media, wasn't a jerk. Like,
yeah, those are good qualities.
Yeah, great family man. Like, I think there's nothing bad you could say about Craig Stammen as the human being or the person or even the teammate.
Yeah, it's not going to be like, it's not his fault if this team doesn't like win a World Series. Like, I doubt I'm going to be pointing first at Craig Stammen. It's just you're putting him in a situation where the organization wants to take a next step. They've publicly expressed a desire to win a World Series, and now can they do that during his tenure? Now, part of his tenure, this is from Marty Caswell after the press conference.
Yes.
So this sound is courtesy of our former colleague and our friend, Marty Caswell. She asked AJ Preller directly about his future. Let's take a listen to this and react.
Greg mentioned the relationship factor with you as well. Did you have to assure him that you expect to have an extension coming shortly?
Yeah, we talked about it. I mean, like Craig asked those questions. I think honestly, most of the candidates, I think all of them actually asked those questions, in terms of, obviously you sign up for the job, that relationship, general manager, and, just talking about what that looks like. So that was definitely a question that all the candidates talked about. Craig specifically, I think he's signing up, because he has a lot of trust and belief in the organization. And, that's Josh, it's myself, it's the player development staff. I got a million texts from player development people that were super fired up when they heard that Craig was the selection. It's the whole front office, and it's our players. Like, Craig has a belief in our players, whereas, it's, sometimes in an interview setting, you're going to say, hey, I believe in this player or that player. Craig, like, he's lived with those guys. He's dressed with them. He knows them well. So I think for all of those reasons, I think it's important to Craig, like him being familiar with our group. I think him understanding, what the organization is about, and I think it was important for him, like in his decision as well.
What did you tell him about your own status then? And are you going to make people go to Vegas to find out?
No, I mean, I think John was able to. John talked about, hey, he was able to talk to any candidate that had questions about what it all, in terms of, my contract situation, and he's talked to, he had spent time one-on-one with Craig. He spent one-on-one time with all the candidates to talk about, his vision, his belief. I'm, like I've said before, I'm looking forward to being here for a long time, and continue having those conversations and see where it goes.
The one thing I caught in there, Jim, was in the first part of the answer. It was AJ almost telling Marty what she wanted to hear, maybe, or what I wanted to hear, which was Craig Stammen needs to know AJ Preller's future, as do the other candidates. He said the question came up often in the interview process.
As it should.
So that's basically AJ Preller using the media as an extension to be like, hey, my status matters. You don't just go out and hire a manager when the GM has 1 year left in his deal. The GM has to be, they go hand in hand. You don't have a manager with a GM that's uncertain. So my guess is I'm guessing it's a formality. We've been wrong before. They've made left turns on us before, but it was AJ Preller at the podium with Craig Stammen. I'm assuming he'll be extended.
There was a report yesterday from Dennis Lynn saying the Padres intend to finalize a new deal for AJ Preller.
Yes.
Hasn't been announced yet. I mean, those things kind of have to be announced. You can't do it secretly, like when you signed Eric Greupner to an extension.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, no offense, nobody cares about if Eric Greupner is under contract or not. People care if AJ Preller is under contract or not. So those things have to be announced to the media and to your fan base.
Right.
So nothing was announced. Nothing was finalized, apparently. As of right now, the GM meetings are underway in Las Vegas. My guess is AJ Preller's probably on his way there right now, or if he's not already there, because it's in Las Vegas.
If he can get a flight.
That is true. Well, I'm sure they have the private jet.
He can get to Vegas.
He can get to Vegas. Yeah. Maybe he has to drive there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that there's no contract extension announced before this.
Would it taken the thunder away of announcing Craig Stammen as the manager if you announce both? Like, is it Craig's family's day, not AJ and
Good
Craig's
point.
day?
Maybe. Good.
And maybe it does, to Marty's point, does it get announced in Las Vegas
Maybe.
via press release?
Maybe it does. I mean, it takes Preller forever to answer a question.
Yeah,
he,
exactly.
He filibusters his way through everything with a million you knows.
Yep.
But he finally, at the end of that answer there, said, I want to be here for a long time, or at least my hope is to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm assuming is they're going to line it up with Craig. They're going to have the 2-year contract extension. They're both going to be here under contract for 3 more seasons. And you go from there. I mean, guys, it's really not that hard. What are we doing? Why is it taking so long?
I agree.
To get this thing done? I mean, the season ended over a month ago.
October 2nd.
And you still haven't, put pen to paper on an extension for AJ?
In professional sports, is a really long time.
Ridiculous.
It shouldn't take that much time. We'll get Annie's perspective on it on the other side. Annie Halberd returning to John and Jim for the first time since Friday. And she will join us on the other side of this break. Darren Smith, who was on the call for SDFC, his perspective on Craig Stammen, plus on the run that SDFC has enjoyed in their debut season. Annie coming up next. Stay with us. It's John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. We'll start with SDFC as they beat Portland last night 4-0 to win their best of 3 series, 2-1, and now advance to the Western Conference semifinals, where they will take on Minnesota here at Snapdragon Stadium Monday, November 24th. Aztec basketball yesterday afternoon beating Idaho State 73-57. Aztecs football over the weekend, not good against Hawaii as they got blown out, but their game against Boise State this upcoming weekend will be a battle for first place. Aztecs currently leading the Mountain West Conference even after their loss to Hawaii. And NFL news of the day, the Giants made it official, firing head coach Brian Daboll. Tonight, Monday Night Football, Eagles and Packers from Lambeau Field. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
All right, full disclosure, Annie, when I'm not on the show, Annie Halpern back with us on John and Jim. It's been a while. When I'm not on the show, I'm not listening. That's
apparent, Al, obviously.
Now, it's not always the case, but it's sometimes the case. And I was away and I wasn't on the show, and Jim had you on, which is wonderful to hear. But I wasn't aware of it. So I asked Annie today. And,
I told John last week that I was going to get you on the show.
No, that didn't happen. Not last week. I will fight that.
Well, anyway, John texted me this morning and he tells me the rundown, and I go, we had Annie on Friday, and he thought I was joking.
Yeah, I'm like, Jim never does anything. There's no way he booked again. Anyway, we're a bitter, like, old married couple here, me and Jim.
We don't communicate.
Annie, how are you? It's good for me to hear you back on the radio with us. So how are you?
It is great. It is great to be on with both of you. Jim did a great job on Friday, but it just wasn't the same, John. And the question is, do you guys listen to the show even when you are on the air?
I asked, how about this, Annie? How about this? I just asked Jim. He's going to kill me. What can I say? I go 5 minutes ago. I say, what'd you ask Annie on Friday? He's like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But that's Jim. Okay, you were in the building today for the introduction of Craig Stammen as the next manager. And obviously, you've known Craig for a long time with his time and his ties to the Padres. It seemed like he said the right things. I mean, a press conference isn't a baseball game, but what did you make of his introduction to the media earlier today?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did a great job. I thought, a great press conference. He was, I thought he was very real. That was who he is. That's who he is as a player, is who you saw today. I thought it was good to hear the fact that he realizes there's going to be some bumps in the road. This is not going to be a completely smooth process. I'm going to lean on a lot of veteran coaches or former managers or people I know that can help support and guide me. But he's very eager, very willing to learn. I will say, and I would say this for Craig or for anybody, that it was a great press conference, but it doesn't really translate into anything else, right? Like, it just shows that he wants to, be a great manager. He's looking to already figure out how he's going to partner with the players and manage some of his former teammates. But when the actual season hits and you're in the thick of it and you're on game 139 or whatever it is, I mean, it not to say that he's going to be any different, but it's just a different story. It just is a different feel to it altogether. So I thought today went as well as it could go. It was interesting to talk to him after the presser ended and find out that Mike Shildt had reached out to him after he was hired, and the two of them are very close. He plans to lean on Mike Shildt through this managerial process, reach out to him, talk to him on the phone or by text, as well as with Ruben Niebla, really leaning on him as well. And the thing that it sounds like took it over the edge for him and his wife, Audrey, is they were trying to figure out how to make this work while still living in Ohio and the kids still going to school there. And they finally realized, you know what, we just need to be together. So once they figured out, we're just going to move the family to San Diego, then that was kind of when the page turned for them and they were able to look at this like, hey, we are all in. This is going to be able to work for our family.
So last week, me and John talked about it a lot. We were led to believe that, this whole process went where Craig was in the interview process, and then he looked over to AJ, I'm just speaking about it, and said, hey, look, I think I want to put my name in the hat to be the manager of this team. But then today, Craig said the complete opposite, where AJ had to do the spin job and he had to do the sell job to Craig to put his name in the hat. Do you find that interesting that in the beginning here, it was AJ that had to twist Craig's arm here a bit to have him interview for the job? And do you think, I know that now he's okay with it and his family's okay with it and whatnot. But do you find that to be interesting or concerning at all?
I mean, I think that it is unique for sure. And I think that it can be looked at a little bit like, especially if you're the other candidates, like, well, wait a second, was I ever really a real consideration? Or were you always looking at Craig? You know, so I can see where the other candidates are kind of like, that's interesting news. For Craig, I wonder more if it was just not really in his reality. Like he said today that the encouragement from AJ Preller and Josh Stein and their belief in him really is what pushed him to believe that he actually is right for the job and he can do the job. And so I don't know that it's as much as like Craig didn't want it or Craig wasn't, because it sounded to him. And again, we talked to him as soon as the press conference ended. We talked to all these people without the cameras on, right? And he talked about how since he's been done playing, he's been considering all kinds of different jobs in baseball, whether it was manager, whether it was GM, whether it was something in the front office. And the last 2 years, he's been able to work both on the field and in the front office. So it sounds like manager, I don't think was like completely out of left field for him. And I think it's something that he figured he could work toward. I think what was probably surprising is it happening now. He mentioned that to think about what he was thinking about 3 weeks ago, which is like manager wasn't even in the picture. His train of thought 3 weeks ago to what it is now is completely a 180, And so I think that's kind of where the urgency is what really like took everyone by surprise. But I do think it's unique and I do understand how it might be a little non-traditional for things to go a little bit that way. I definitely get that part.
Yeah, it is interesting. And we'll see on the other side what it looks like. I think sometimes, and Eddie Halpern is with us, it's like we're going down this path. We're like, oh, look at what the Padres did with their manager. But what really matters is what they do with their roster. So that's a two-part question. Do you believe that an AJ Preller extension at this point is on the horizon? And secondly, what's the first order of business here for this team as the offseason is underway with the GM meetings?
Great questions. I think that for Preller, and I told Jim this Friday. I was like, I said they're going to announce it today. They'll announce Preller today. They'll announce him with Stammen. And I was wrong. So I am to understand that an extension is still in the works. Now, I guess what you don't know is if they haven't sat down to actually talk about it, are they going to be very far apart on terms? Will there be maybe some sour feelings over, certain offers or things like that? I mean, that's the only thing. It sounds like if they're still planning to do it, which I'm hearing that they are, that it's really just a matter of logistics right now. Like Preller wanted to get to the GM meetings. He wants to get his manager in. He wants to figure out the roster, figure out the coaching staff, and that there's an understanding of just like, we're going to get this done. It's just like, he's kind of unbothered by it right now, it sounds like. But again, if you haven't really sat down at the table, how do you know how it's going to go once you flip your cards over, right? Unless maybe they've started doing some of that and they're confident about being on the same page. I'm not totally sure about that. So I do think it will get done. At least it seems like it's still going to get done. And as far as the roster, I think now that you know that Yu Darvish is out for the season and you've got some uncertainty here with the pitchers that you offered the qualifying offer to, which I would be surprised if they take it. I think you got to figure out the starting rotation. You do need another first baseman. You do need another bat in the lineup that can hopefully give you some power. But this starting rotation could be in real dire straits if they don't give it some cushion here soon.
So Ruben Niebla was mentioned a lot during this introductory press conference by Craig Stammen, saying how he's going to lean on him heavily here. It kind of feels like, AJ, when they interviewed Ruben and Ruben didn't get the job, it kind of like he is returning, but he's also going to be like a co-manager with this team. Did you kind of sense that to be the case with Ruben returning?
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think I wouldn't be surprised if they give Ruben a bigger title or maybe a promotion of some sorts or something that kind of leans in that direction. I think you also have to look at Ruben Niebla and go, this guy is, what a guy. he didn't get the job. The guy that he was a coach of, is the former player, is now his manager, the manager of the team. I mean, there's some real humbleness that has to come along with you coming to the press conference today, showing your face along with your son, sitting there and encouraging him along the way. And then not only that, but being, apparently, one of the right-hand men that's going to be alongside Craig Stammen for this journey. So it says a lot about Ruben Niebla. And I look at that like they're going to give him some more leash. They're going to give him some more opportunity here. And whether he's a manager with the Padres someday or with another team, it seems like he's going to get an opportunity to really shape things or learn things and kind of give his advice and input along the way. And I think that's really going to prime him to be a manager someday, somewhere for some other team in a really positive way.
Annie,
or for the Padres, who knows?
Exactly.
In 2 years, he'll be the
be.
manager.
It could absolutely happen. Annie, do you have any feel for why John Seidler is so to speak, quiet, when it comes to media opportunities? I mean, I know he's there. He's at an event like this, but he's not at the podium where maybe under a Ron Fowler or a Peter Seidler, certainly he would be, up there. And maybe that's just to each their own. We're all unique. I do understand that, but he is so private. There's been so little interaction between John Seidler and the media and the fan base. That's got to be by design at this point, right?
Well, from what I had heard about John Seidler before he even took the role, is that he's very shy. He is a very introverted, quiet, keeps to himself, kind of the opposite of what Peter Seidler, who he was, and maybe even some of his other brothers. So I think, coming into it, he was already a little bit, well, he was that way. That's who he was as a personality. And so I think that plays into it. And then I think maybe just part of, just not wanting to be at the forefront of things. Maybe, I'm not sure even how comfortable he felt that first year, maybe speaking on some topics. However, I will say that, he did talk to some people today on the side. I didn't watch him the whole time, but I did see a few conversations with him. But I will say that I think at some point it's going to be more beneficial to hear him speak. That's just my opinion. I think that it's great to hear everyone else speak, but he is the owner, and to not ever hear from him, I think, does a little bit of a disservice, or to only hear from him on the broadcast, or to never, he still has not had a scrum with media. It's never happened. So maybe this spring training is something that he can do. But I think in general, I think that he just doesn't desire that part of the job is not as important to him as other parts of the job.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job of making that clear. Just based on the actions or lack thereof.
Hey, just write checks and no one will talk about it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if they win, it's all good, but there's still always going to be questions. Annie, appreciate you. I know you hadn't been on the show in forever.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
To have you back. Yeah, Jim.
Talk to you guys tomorrow. Talk to you on maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Thank you, Annie. We appreciate you.
Have a great one, guys. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Annie Halbern with the UT back with us. On John and Jim, we're going to tell you about some great ticket giveaways on the other side.
I mean, great.
We have great ticket giveaways that we're going to share with you on the other side. We'll let you know how you can win here today. Darren Smith will join us coming up at 3 p.m. on the call for SDFC. His thoughts on Craig Stammen as well. Will Brinson on this weekend in the NFL. Eagles Packers tonight as well. Will Brinson joins us at 4:30. This is John and Jim. All right, John and Jim. Darren Smith. Can't wait to connect with Darren coming up at 3 p.m. in Snapdragon yesterday. Didn't have 1 goal call or 2. He didn't have 3 goal calls. He had 4 because they won 4-0. I was texting with Darren this morning about coming on. I said, full admission, I fell asleep at 3-0. And the game was so over. It was over the second the game started. But Darren will join us coming up at 3 p.m. We'll look ahead to the Western Conference semifinals plus his thoughts on Craig Stammen. Now listen to these giveaways today. We have Aztec tickets to give away for Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. Even though San Diego State lost at Hawaii and I was there and it was raining a lot, they still control their own destiny, not just to get to a Mountain West Championship game, but to host it. It's contingent on beating Boise this weekend at home. Boise announcing today their starting quarterback is out for the game. Maddox Madsen is out for that game come Saturday. So we will give away a pair of tickets. We'll do it during Trainwreck Radio in the 4 o'clock hour. So we'll bring that back. We also have a family 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego's Christmas celebration that's going on November 14th through January 4th. We'll give those away coming up today. So you can celebrate Christmas at SeaWorld. You can win a pair of tickets to see San Diego State, Boise State. Let's get into the Aztecs for a second. Sean Lewis spoke with the media today and after the game Saturday. It did not go well. Okay, to put it mildly. And it was like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law, everything. But again, are you still in the CFP conversation? No. Were you always going to be on the outside looking in on that? Yes. You're still in the Mountain West conversation to get to a championship game or host a championship game. So they need to turn the page quick with a kind of short week, Jim, because of the travel, and get ready for Boise State Saturday night.
I saw a lot of this on Saturday night. Same old Aztecs. This team sucks. I can't believe this team. I can't believe Sean Lewis. These guys are a bunch of frauds. But we're not going to the playoffs. Well, kiss our season goodbye. Guys, the odds of them getting to the college football playoff were very, very slim. Even if they
even with the win, it wasn't high.
Even if they beat Hawaii on Saturday, they would have to then run the table and have a lot of help.
And get help. Yeah. That's the truth.
But you know what's still in play? Absolutely, which is going to make Saturday's game even more important now. The Mountain West Conference Championship, which is, by the way, always the first goal coming out of the, training camp for a season for any year, for any team.
Yeah, win your league.
And they have a great opportunity to do that. So if you're one of those fans today, it's like, well, good luck trying to sell out the game on Saturday with this horrible loss. Like, nothing changed from Saturday night to right now, leading up to Boise on Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium, other than the fact that very, very slim chance of them making the college football playoff is now done. Everything else, though, right in front of them.
And find me a truthful person that thought at this point San Diego State would be 7-2 heading into the year. They went 3-9 last year. It happened. Okay. So how many people were like, if they're not 8-1 through 9 games, nobody was saying that. And they're still tied for first place in the league, and they're still 7-2 overall, and they still have work to do. That's a fair point. They need to play much better than they played at Hawaii, and that has to start this weekend. But everything they began the season with hopes to do is still possible if they can beat Boise State on Saturday night.
Now, look, if they go out against Boise and they put together the same performance they did against Hawaii, then that would be very disappointing.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised, actually.
This game against Hawaii was disappointing, but to me, if you're a realist out there, which from on social media, it didn't seem like there was a lot of them.
Right.
But if you're a realist, you knew, and we talked about it on Friday. We asked a question in the is Saturday a must-win game at Hawaii? It wasn't.
I like that question.
Yeah, it wasn't a must-win. The only way it was a must-win is if you had any hopes of going to the college football playoff, which again, very slim to begin with, even if they did win. You have to be a realist and know, really, that Hawaii game didn't mean anything as far as their chances to win and still host a Mountain West Conference title game.
That's exactly right. So if you would have asked me before the Hawaii game, and maybe you did, and I probably said this either here or in private or maybe even on the air, if I was picking one game to win of the two,
it's easy.
It's not even a conversation. And you might be saying, John, that's revisionist history. No, it isn't. Because by beating Boise, you control the tiebreaker, and now you can host a championship game. If you beat Hawaii and lost to Boise, You'd be behind Boise.
Yeah, because Boise has
Who
one
would
loss.
have the tiebreaker? They'd have one loss and you would have one loss.
Right.
So in the scenario of you're going to lose one, it's the Hawaii game that would be quote unquote preferred. Now that still requires you to beat Boise. I don't care if Boise's quarterback is out. I don't care if they've got 3 losses. It's still going to take a really good performance to beat Boise State. It's the Boise State Broncos. But the Aztecs, I do think with what we've seen at home, they're 4-0, and with their season overall and coming off the loss, they're fully capable of winning the game. And let's see if that happens this weekend.
And I think for the players and the coaching staff and for Sean Lewis, I think that it is going to be, and the process already probably has happened. It's going to be very easy to wipe away that bad Hawaii loss and to move forward to Boise.
Leave it on the island.
Like, I think that they've already moved past it. Like, there's no, like, we blew our chance. We blew, like, no. All they talk about, you listen to Sean Lewis before seasons, all he talks about is winning a Mountain West Conference title. That's the number one goal. And then once you get there, and once you win it, then you worry about, making a college football playoff. And if you are like, say at the end of the year, you are undefeated going into your final game or going into the conference title game, then yeah.
Of course.
Then we talk about both winning a Mountain West Conference title and getting to the college football playoff. But the game meant nothing. It meant nothing when you look back at it for their chances to win the Mountain West Conference title. If you're one of those fans out there that only wants this team and is only going to care if this team makes the college football playoff, well, I hate to break it to you, then you're going to be a very miserable person potentially for a very long time.
One team out of 6 conferences, now that there's going to be a Pac-12 out of the group of 6 conferences. Think about that. One team out of 6 conferences. How many schools is that? 75 or 80?
Right.
Is going to qualify every year. Now, you'd love to be considered for it. You'd love to put yourself in contention for it. They did through 8 games, but it's hard. To your point. I mean, what are they saying in Boise about the 6-3 Broncos? Right. The only goal in Boise is to basically make the CFP. But if that's your only, I'm only happy if my team's in the CFP, then you're going to set yourself up for disappointment.
100%. And we're still going through the building blocks here. I mean, this is just year 2.
Exactly.
If you told me at the beginning of the year, Sean Lewis's team ends the year with 7 wins, I'd probably be like, that's a great improvement. So +4 wins right there.
Yeah.
But, now going through the season, their goals have changed to, hey, win the Mountain West Conference title. And the fact that they have a really good chance to do that and to host the Mountain West Conference title game, I mean, come on. If you're not like looking at that as like exciting and great for the future of this program, then you're just a bitter fan and not even bitter. You're just a miserable fan that only cares about something. Like I said, the odds of it happening are very slim to begin with.
Yeah, that's really well said. All right, coming up at the 4:00 hour, we'll give away Aztec tickets to see Boise State this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. But Darren Smith was at Snapdragon Stadium last night, along with 35,000 other people, as SDFC blows out Portland and moves on to the Western Conference semifinals. He'll join us next to talk about SDFC and the Padres hiring of Craig Stammen right here on John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. We'll start with SDFC. Last night, beating Portland 4-0 to win their best-of-3 series, 2-1. They now advance to the Western Conference semifinals, where they will take on Minnesota here at Snapdragon Stadium Monday, November 24th. Aztecs basketball yesterday with a blowout win over Idaho State, 73-57. Aztecs football losing to Hawaii. Next game for them will be this Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium against Boise State. And NFL news of the day, the Giants finally fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
Your favorite pair, John and Jim.
We're excited to name Craig as the next manager of the Padres.
Being in the front office the last 2 years gave me a bird's eye view of what it is behind the curtain and how things are operated. And as a player, you always think how things are going, but you don't really know.
A wheel route is going to be hit as he throws, and this is going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the Rainbow Warriors.
Tucci has it. Cross. Under. Unders. Cherry on top. SDFC go to the conference semifinals. SDFC 4. Portland Timbers, non-SDFC wins the series.
Now live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It is hour 2 of John and Jim, and we've got Darren Smith. You just heard right there on the call for SDFC. They are moving on.
What a call.
I did love that call, Darren. And I know we've talked about, you've been doing play-by-play here with SDFC. You've been in the booth all season long. They're moving on to the Western Conference semifinals. What was last night like for you? Prepare to call this game, all the nerves of if they win, they move on. If they lose, they go home. What was the experience like for you last night? And as always, we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Well, thank you, guys. I was just focused on the John Schaefer call from the game with SU in Hawaii. I was captivated by that. I blacked out during my own call. I don't know if you go through this. I still cringe a little bit when I hear the sound of my voice, be it on radio or in a call like that. But it was great. It was just good energy in the building. Obviously, there was nervous energy because you don't know. We've never been in a situation before where your season is literally 2 hours away from either extending to another game, at least, or ending. And, you know, you can think about it all week. I can tell you I wasn't prepared walking into that building for it to be the final match of the season. But, you know, the soccer gods looked favorably upon SDFC. They came up, they showed up, they were ready to play, and they announced their presence early in that match and often in that match. They were the better team than Portland. They proved it over 5 games, 4 of them, or 3 during the postseason and a couple times during the regular season. So, it was a little touch and go after the emotions of losing a heartbreaker last Saturday night, but they atoned rather well. They carried a level of confidence with them into the game. I thought all week long, it was really noticeable to me how confident they were, and that's how they played last night. So, good thing that they had their hands on the wheel. Not really a lot of nerves, no real panic, just very professional. We know we're better than you guys. We're going to go out there. We're going to prove it.
In seasons for teams at the trade deadline or making trades, it's a huge thing to see if those trades can help you win a championship. And I feel like Amal Pellegrino, it could be that trade that SDFC made earlier this year from San Jose that, could help them get to where they want to get to. He was fantastic last night. He's been fantastic since he's been here with SDFC. Just how big of a pickup has been Pellegrino for SDFC?
Massive, just incredible. You look at the players that have had multi-goal games for SDFC. Anders obviously has done it the most. He's done it 6 times now since he did it again last night. Chucky has done it 1 time, and I think Pellegrino now has done it twice. So I might be cheating Lozano on one of those. But, that's how big he's been. And he's been a big part of the recent success, for all of the chatter about what's going on with Chucky when he comes off in the Houston game a couple of weeks back, right? And that's kind of the moment, the flashpoint here where, I guess his reaction isn't great. And, he ends up, he and the club, they got to sort through some stuff, right? To the point where Chucky has to go on to Instagram and he has to apologize, but he was subbed off for Amal Pellegrino. And Pellegrino comes on in that game, and SDFC scores 4 goals in the second half against Houston. Pellegrino starts the next game, decision day, October 18th in Portland. Massive game. This is where you win the Western Conference. He starts that game because Chucky's not with the team. They score 4 goals in that game. He starts game 1 of the playoffs. You win that game 2-1. He starts the second game. You're up 2-1 really, really late, almost there just with 15 seconds left on the clock. He starts last night and you win 4-0 again. So, is this all due directly to Amal Pellegrino? I wouldn't say that, but, you are getting a little bit of an understanding as to why it is when people say, well, what's going on? Like, how bad is it with Chucky? I think we're past that. I just think it's to the point now where things are firing at such a high level that there really is no temptation to switch things around. I didn't know much about him. I've learned a lot about him. I didn't know what it meant to be a goal scoring leader in a Norwegian league. I'm sorry. I follow the sport, but I don't follow it that closely. You know what I mean? I didn't know what it meant to be a 2-time champ and a Golden Boot winner in Norway. But, now we're starting to see it. And, he was on his way out. He was with San Jose. It sounds like it was a miserable experience. He told his agent, I'm done with the U.S. Get me out of here unless it's San Diego. And they made it happen. And he said this was the only place that he was going to go during the transfer window of the summer. Otherwise, he had opportunities to go back to Europe. But he saw an attractive style of play in San Diego with Mikey Vargas. He said, that's where I want to go. That's the only place I'm going to go. If that's not it, I'm headed back to Europe. And thankfully, SDFC found a spot for him because he's been great on the field and culturally just fits in a lot with the squad.
That is unbelievable perspective. Darren Smith with us right now. Again, on the call last night. You can find all of his work, by the way, as well at section1904.com. If you're a San Diego sports fan, and if you're listening right now, you probably are. Please visit section1904.com. So we look ahead, kind of.
We get good guests on that podcast.
You have very good guests. I really enjoyed.
Okay.
I enjoyed whatever day.
Thursday, yes.
Last
Before your world
Thursday.
travels began.
When we found out about Craig Stammen, we'll get to Craig Stammen, but I want to ask you more about like Monday Night Football, so to speak, because 2 weeks from now we get a Monday night match between SDFC and Minnesota. What do we need to know about this matchup? How did it go in the regular season? Again, this is a 1 game to move on scenario in the Western Conference semis coming up 2 weeks from tonight, right?
Yep, 2 weeks. That's going to be another interesting weekend at Snapdragon Stadium because Saturday night, right? SDSU's playing. So someone said that. Well, why is it Monday? And I thought maybe we would get the Friday window, but they're going to give us the Monday window instead, just with the turnaround, I think, for the stadium. So, yeah, Monday Night Football returns to Mission Valley. Minnesota split. San Diego FC won there. It was a weird game because it came during an international window, so both sides were without some key players. And then Minnesota came here and won 3-1. It was an insane game. They've got a great, great goalkeeper. His name is Dane St. Clair. He's the starting goalkeeper for the Canadian national team. That night at Snapdragon Stadium, SDFC was all over Minnesota. I mean, peppering them, shot after shot after shot. I was literally just looking at the stats. They were all over the place flying, and this guy made 13 saves. And I think that was the season high in Major League Soccer this year. He was the man of the match. He was just incredible. He was a brick wall. Again, MLS goalkeeper of the year. Really, really good. Great, big personality. They're not, prolific scoring. Sold one of their better players during the transfer window. They're known for being sort of the opposite of SDFC, whereas SDFC is obsessed with possession. They want the ball. They want to dictate the pace. Minnesota's last in the league in that. They don't really care. They're like, hey, you can have it. We'll just play the way that we want to play. So it's two contrasting styles. It was split during the regular season. But, the way SDFC is playing right now, I mean, we're sitting here talking about 2 wins away from MLS Cup from appearing in it. So I just think they're flying. Even during the week, coming off that loss in Portland, we're so trained to think that these things have carryover. And the very real recognized confidence that they had makes you believe in them that, they just feel like if they go out there and they're true to themselves and they play the style of soccer that they want to play that's been so successful all season, then, they're willing to lace them up and go head to head with anybody in this league.
Are you at all concerned about the layoff here, or on the flip side, could actually help them because CJ Dos Santos, I don't know his status, but, could it help them with getting him back on the field?
Yeah, it could. I think that's probably a long shot. Yeah. CJ has a broken cheekbone and a concussion, and you never really know, how long is it going to take to come back from a concussion. Certainly I think there's every confidence in the world in the backup, Pablo Cisniega. It's been said all season long. It's not one of those things where, okay, you got to turn to the backup, so let's make sure we say some good things about him.
Right.
They've said it all year long. Like, they really feel like a lot of CJ's success becoming a number one goalkeeper is because he's had Pablo pushing him. And Pablo's a terrific guy, like great human being to talk to. So I don't know that there will be enough time. Fingers crossed just for CJ that he can get himself healthy again, get through the concussion and, the facial fractures. But I think it does give us a little bit of time to get some of our defensive players back. We've had a little bit of a crisis on the back line with some of the right back position, although you wouldn't know it watching first round draft pick Ian Pilcher play. But there have been 3 different players who have missed a handful of games here in Oscar Verhoeven, Willie Kumado, and Aiden Harangi. So it might give us a little bit of time to get some depth back on the back line. Although, like I said, you wouldn't know it the way these guys have played, the way the next man mentality works with San Diego Football Club and Mikey Vadas. But it just does give everybody a little bit of a break. 4 guys will be off on international duty. So there's going to be a little bit of traveling for 4 of the key players. But it is a nice break. And you do worry about the rest and rust thing, but both sides are going to have to go through it. So especially being able to play back at home, I think these guys will probably appreciate and have a couple of days and a little extra time here to just appreciate what they've done and look forward to what is still possible.
Switching gears, Darren, we were reacting in real time on your podcast on Thursday, section1904.com, to Craig Stammen. I think we had found out literally moments before that he was reportedly the next manager of the Padres. Is now official. As you've digested over the course of the weekend, which was busy, and you were on the call last night for SDFC, but you heard what Craig had to say to some extent here today. Where are you in the hire as Craig Stammen will lead the Padres in at least 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody probably roots for Craig Stammen because who wouldn't? It came across, I thought, pretty well during the press conference why it is that so many people are lining up to say great things about Craig Stammen. And, it used to be a joke, a little bit of a joke that we had, and Jim and I were texting about this a little bit. There was a story from a couple of years ago, which was like over the top about how all the teammates love Craig Stammen so much. And, we had this quote from Jake Cronenworth about, that guy over there pointing at Stammen. And so okay, we get it. They all love Craig Stammen. He was a great teammate. Sounds like a tremendous human being. So I think it's right to root for him, but I do think the process is bizarre. I mean, what he said today about going from the interviewer to the interviewee and how AJ was really sort of decided that he wanted this guy to pursue this job before Craig Stammen realized that he wanted to pursue the job. It's just not something I've ever heard before. And fair to wonder what this might mean to some of the other candidates, especially guys that were considered favorites for this job. I've just never heard a process like this where a guy's in the organization, starts interviewing, is part of the interview process, and then ends up getting the job. I mean, it's just a kind of a crazy thing, and I mean, I'm a little, I don't know. I don't want to say worried, but when he starts talking about, now he's going to be pushing some of his best friends to be successful. Yeah. And he's talking about how he called them teammates at one point. Like he said, my teammates. I feel like he's still sort of plugged in the player mode. And I'm sorry, that is just not the job of the manager. The manager is going to have to make really, really difficult decisions. And some of those decisions aren't going to be received well by players because it might be impacting their contracts. So, I hope he's got a firm grasp on that you are still in the clubhouse. You recognize some of these players. You played with some of these players, but you are not their teammate. You are just not. You are an extension now of the front office. And AJ Preller's got to play hardball with some of these guys. Let's just say, as an example, through arbitration or contract negotiation or injury or trades. And it's not the environment where you're buddy and you're teammates with guys anymore. You're on the other side of that. And again, you have to go out there and tell Joe Musgrove, or some other pitcher, let's say, that's approaching free agency, I'm taking the ball from you. And the guy's like, no way, man. Like, hey, this is going to impact my contract. Like, those are things that you've got to do that stuff. And at times they could have all the respect in the world for you and your decision making, but you're not a teammate of theirs anymore. You're the boss. So smart enough to understand that. It's just interesting to hear him use some of the words that he used today during the press conference.
Those are great points. And this will be fascinating because it's not like the Padres are like, well, we'll just ease you into it. Maybe in a couple of years we'll be good. No, you got to be good now.
That's the first thing that we noticed today was like, wait, you had to have your arm twisted by AJ, not the other way around? Like,
right.
That's weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you guys played a clip from Marty off to the side with AJ. There was another part of that clip where AJ's talking about how he didn't just campaign to Craig, but he campaigned to Craig's wife. He's like, put your wife on the Zoom. And he started selling her on the job. He's like, what do you need to hear from us for you to feel comfortable as a family unit to move from Ohio to come to San Diego, which is interesting. I'm not being critical of it. I'm just saying it's an interesting thing. It's almost like he's a college coach, right? Like he's Sean Lewis sitting in somebody's living room. And not only is he talking to the player about coming to San Diego, he's talking to the player's parents. So like, it's just I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen a recruitment quite like this from a president of baseball operations.
Well, we'll do it again in a year when they hire Ruben Niebla.
Right. Successor of the team.
It seems like this has been happening all too often, the hiring of a new manager in San Diego. Darren,
that's the other thing too. I was like, wow, the guy looks great. Let's screenshot this and see what he looks like in 2 years.
It's like a president.
Ages you in dog years,
it's so
right?
true. It is so true.
Yeah. Mike Schultz looked great 2 years ago.
Last thing is, then like the other last thing is, did you notice how many times they referred to Josh Stein today?
So many.
Oh,
dude. Do you think are we trending to a path where AJ's deal says he's the VP? I mean, he already is the VP of baseball operations and Josh Stein is the quote unquote general manager.
Well, it was made pretty clear today, and it wasn't just AJ. It was also Craig Stammen talking about how this was sort of a two-headed effort from AJ and Josh. Like there were four key players that were talked about today. One was John Seiler, one was Eric Rubner, one was AJ Preller, and the other one was Josh Stein. So maybe nothing, but the way we are.
Maybe that's why a contract isn't done yet. Maybe that's why a contract's not done yet.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that might be the case. Yeah. Honestly, like that's not a bad shout right there. That might be part of this.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. All right, I like that. Darren, appreciate you, man. Great job last night. Again, for our listeners, if you haven't been to section1904.com, if you're by a phone, not in a car, but if you're by your phone, if you're by a computer, go to section1904.com. Find Darren each and every day there. Appreciate you, my friend. We'll do it again as this postseason continues for SDFC.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
All right, great stuff. We're going to react to that on the other side. Will Brinson at 4:30. It's John and Jim. Hey guys, it is us again, John and Jim, for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and of course this fall, now open the hotel and spa at Jamul Casino Resort. It is the next level of luxury. You can treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
Yeah, and savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at Jamul 23, from their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to the luxurious VIP endless dining experience each evening. Indulge in chef-curated specialties, fresh seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
I love a good spa. I mean, you know me. I love a good spa.
Of course you do.
You'll love the spa at Jamul. You can unwind in style, experience pure relaxation, indulgent treatments, serene spaces, a retreat designed to refresh your body and mind. Only at Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We're giving away SeaWorld tickets this hour. We're talking about a family 4-pack to SeaWorld San Diego's Christmas celebration, November 14th through January 4th. Tickets at SeaWorldSanDiego.com. We'll give those away this hour. Next hour, we'll give away San Diego State and Boise State tickets for Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. It's interesting when I start doing the math on what Darren said and you said, that the match for SDFC is 2 weeks from tonight. By the way, this has worked out like I almost want to maybe I should knock on wood. This has worked out perfectly this year with SDFC and SDSU and the Wave. Field conditions have not been a storyline this season. The matches have not followed in unison. There haven't been Friday, Saturday. Aztecs play on a Friday night. SDFC plays on a Saturday. But we're heading to a point where, and Darren mentioned it, San Diego State is going to play a week from Saturday at home. And then SDFC won't play the next day, but the day after that. Hence that Monday match 2 weeks from now.
Right.
They've got a new field in there. JD Wicker touched on that recently, I think, with us, that they just replaced the field for this November SDSU run and for this SDFC run in the postseason as well. It'll be interesting when San Diego State plays a week from Saturday. I think it makes a lot of sense. They have a day of cushion, probably to get the field, maybe repaint the field and get the field ready to go for that Monday match.
Yeah, interested to see how it all works out. I'm glad I'm not in charge of that. So
yeah, I mean, so far, I think so far so good in 2025.
Yeah, and you couldn't have it any earlier because they're not gonna have it on Thanksgiving, right? So
yeah, you wouldn't have it on a Thursday, yeah. Because that's Thanksgiving Day. But also, what I noticed is the other Western Conference semi match, the LAFC Vancouver, is 2 days earlier.
Yeah,
Saturday, and SDFC will play on Monday. Presumably, if you advance, the finals would be the next weekend. San Diego State's on the road that weekend,
which would be
at New Mexico.
Perfect.
So presumably, you're playing. I'm making it up on a Saturday.
Yeah,
but for SDFC, you're going Monday, Saturday, where the winner of LAFC Vancouver goes Saturday.
And they're going to plan everything out. So it's not like they're going to be like, oh no, this game's falling on this. Like, no, they plan out everything to make sure that doesn't happen.
MLS Cup is a whole other story.
Because that's a set date, right?
Yes. And the set date is the day after the Mountain West Championship, which San Diego State is trying to host.
Now, the odds of SDFC hosting the MLS Cup
are not high right now.
No.
Because of seeding. Yeah.
Correct. Because you have right now, I don't.
There's only one team that San Diego could host. It's the 5th seed in the East, New York City FC, NYCFC.
And they advanced?
Well, yeah, but the other top 3 also have. So Philadelphia, Cincinnati, and Miami are through.
Yeah.
If Philadelphia beats NYCFC in 2 weekends, then it doesn't matter. But if NYCFC advances, there's still a scenario where SDFC could host New York in the MLS Cup.
Right. You know what would be pretty cool? SDFC versus Inter Miami. Messi versus
that's interesting. Well,
SDFC.
What would you prefer, though? Serious question. I mean, I think
I have no idea.
You'd prefer hosting NYCFC to anything, 100%, right?
100%. The MLS Cup final at Snapdragon Stadium, first year for SDFC, would be insane.
And you wouldn't be taking on a team that was in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference if that happened.
But you'd also be taking on a team that got red hot.
Yeah, exactly.
And rolled through some of the better teams in MLS.
Now, seeing SDFC against Miami would be unique, but again, what's the best chance of winning? Yeah. I would think hosting a match.
I think just from a standpoint of like making it as big as possible. If Messi's in it, that MLS Cup final would be massive.
Viewership. Yeah, the viewership.
And what that would do for SDFC if they were in it and if they were happening to win it.
Raise the profile of
everything. My gosh.
No,
talk about a literal dream season.
Beat Miami FC to win MLS Cup in a debut season.
Beat Messi. Miami. And it's Messi in Miami. Bro.
Stay tuned.
What?
All right, we're giving away these SeaWorld tickets for this celebration coming up, a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego's Christmas celebration. We'll get into Aztecs basketball coming up as well. The latest on Craig Stammen being introduced as the next Padres manager. And Will Brinson will join us, our senior NFL writer from CBS Sports, to talk about this weekend in the NFL and also about Eagles-Packers coming up tonight. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. SDFC is moving on as they beat the Timbers last night 4-0. They now advance to the Western Conference semifinals, where they will take on the 5-seed Minnesota here at Snapdragon Stadium on Monday, November 24th. And this upcoming weekend, San Diego State football takes on Boise State at Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday night. It's a battle for first place in the Mountain West Conference. And Aztecs basketball yesterday, they beat Idaho State 73-57 to improve to 2-0 on the year. And NFL news of the day, Brian Daboll officially fired as the Giants head coach. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
All right, John and Jim. Wednesday at 6, you're going to hear SDFC Midweek Live right here. You're going to hear from Mikey Vars, the head coach, and many more. Find out the latest on the club. The latest is they're in the Western Conference semifinals. SDFC Midweek Live, Wednesday at 6, and you're home for SDFC San Diego Sports 760. Congratulations are in order. Who are they in order for?
Oh, thanks.
Congratulate you on what?
I don't know.
Let me hear the. What would, if I could congratulate you on something at this exact moment? Bentley's a dog and I live with him.
Congratulations.
I've been married for 17 months.
You can just congratulate me just to congratulate me.
That's not a congratulations. Where do you think I'm going with the congratulations in order? You should know.
I do know this because it's Brian Dutcher.
That's exactly right.
On winning
Good
his
job.
200th game as the Aztecs head coach.
200th win yesterday against Idaho State. They're 2-0. San Diego State. They've got a week off. 200 wins, 68 losses.
Is that good?
In 8+ years. Yeah, it's very good. The winning percentage is right around 750.
Very good.
When you do the math on that, of course, he's coached the national championship game. He's taken the Aztecs to 7 NCAA tournaments in 8 years. That's pretty good.
That's very good.
He's trying to make it 8-9 this year. They are 2-0, which is all you can ask of a team that's played 2 games. They have a week off. They'll play a week from Tuesday night against the Sun Belt favorite. Actually, a very sneaky game. I say that about every game, but a very sneaky game. Tournament caliber team.
Every game's a sneaky game.
The Troy Trojans will be here a week from Tuesday night. Then Vegas. And then the Aztecs will be in Vegas taking on Michigan and Oregon and another high caliber game as well. So it's kind of all here if you're an Aztec basketball fan.
Yes, it is. They've looked good in their first 2 games.
They have. No Magoon yet.
No Magoon. Reese Dixon Waters returned.
He was awesome last night.
Yesterday. So I didn't even ask you this. How was your double dip this weekend with Hawaii and then traveling and then doing the game on Sunday afternoon?
It's a good thing I didn't play.
So
here was the biggest challenge.
Give me the timeline. Like when you left, when you arrived, when you got here, how much sleep you had. I need the details.
We leave. Well, on the way to Hawaii, we left Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific. All was good. We got to Hawaii 3 in the afternoon.
You had a great ocean front view.
It was awesome. Hawaii, the day you arrive in Hawaii.
It must be nice. It's the best, dude.
It's the best, right? You're in Waikiki. Everything's great. I went. It was wonderful.
So great.
The problem is, I do feel like this is a massive advantage for Hawaii, even though the Aztecs historically have played well there. You're in Hawaii. Oh, yeah. There's a mental hurdle to overcome to go play your best football in Hawaii.
Because it's one of the most beautiful places, like
spectacular
on the planet.
So I get there, and then the next morning, I got up at 6 a.m. and did Diamond Head because it was the only time I could do it that was like available.
That was Diamond Head?
I did Diamond Head at 6 a.m.
It's like Santee.
That's right.
You could hardly tell the difference.
So I did that. Awesome. Met a friend of mine I used to work with in minor league baseball. I used to work in minor league baseball that day.
What?
Everything's going great. Weather is spectacular. It's the 80 degrees.
That's Hawaii for you.
Then get to the stadium. Oh, it's overcast. And it starts pouring.
You're like, what?
90 minutes before the game, and it didn't stop for 6+ hours. So the game was right. I mean, if you watch the game, it was a disaster, right?
Disaster.
It didn't go well.
Don't rewatch the game. Just let it be.
And hopefully you just leave the game on the islands, to everyone's point. But here's the thing, to get back, because you got the tricky weather, just do the math on it. I think we got on the plane around midnight Hawaiian time.
And you flew with the team?
Yeah, with the team.
Okay.
We're on the plane at midnight Hawaiian time. By the time you take off, let's say it's at least, and now it's 2 a.m.
Is it 10?
Pacific.
Is it 10 o'clock San Diego time because it was 2 hours ahead, or
No, San Diego is 2 a.m. because you're at midnight in Hawaii.
That's right,
it's 2 a.m. here.
Yeah.
By the time we take off, let's say we take off at 1 o'clock Hawaii, 3
a.m. San Diego
Then
time.
we land at 8:30
San Diego time.
San Diego time. Get to VA, get back to campus at 9:10.
Oh, you're all messed up.
I slept a little bit on the plane. Now there was a ton of turbulence, which I don't do great with.
So you couldn't sleep really.
No, I finally fell asleep post turbulence about halfway through, thankfully.
Did you get scared with turbulence, or you just?
I don't like it over the Pacific, and I'll tell you why.
Because there's water.
People are like, well, wouldn't you rather be over water than over land when there's turbulence? No, I like being over land because they have airports on land. There's no airports in the ocean.
You know what I found out about turbulence that made me like realize turbulence actually isn't maybe
like
as scary.
You're not gonna die.
Imagine if you put like a little miniature airplane in like a bowl of Jello, okay, and then you take the Jello and you start shaking the Jello. That's what turbulence is. Now, is the plane going to crash in Jello? No, it's just rocking back and forth. That's what turbulence is like in Jello.
But don't you feel sometimes during turbulence? Be honest with you, like this is how I feel.
Yes, I feel like
maybe the plane is gonna like break apart.
Correct, I get it.
I'm like, this thing is like, you know that feeling in your stomach too? Or like, and here's the thing I always do during turbulence to see how bad it is. I look at the other people on the plane and see if they're reacting to it. But remarkably, they weren't.
So
and you always have to look at the flight attendants because they've been through it all.
You have to look at the flight attendants. The other people on the plane don't matter. It's the flight attendants
that have actually experienced it. Anyway, we got back. I didn't sleep. I went home and I showered. I went back to VA House Arena.
Oh, wow.
Called the Aztec basketball game. Ended up like passing out last night. 7:45, slept through the night, which I haven't done that in years. Wow. I slept from 7:45 until 6:30 this morning. So anyway, would I advise to do that ever again in life? No. The problem was the turnaround from, if San Diego State would have played Sunday night, I would have slept during the day on Sunday.
Yeah, you've been fine.
But since they played Sunday at 2 p.m.,
that was hard.
It was a lot. Again, I mean, I'm like a broadcaster. It's not exactly like impossible. I was just kind of along for the ride.
For the average person, it would be a lot.
I mean, it was.
But you also like working, so and you have to keep those how's your vocals doing?
I feel good. I mean, I was concerned about it, but
yeah,
it was.
My voice would be gone at the third quarter.
Now
of the game on Saturday night.
Now, Rich had a good idea. Rich Orenberger, who was on the call. Rich just stayed in Hawaii.
Well, yeah, duh.
Because he's
Doesn't
smart.
he always do that though?
I mean, he's smart. I honestly would have probably done that with Kristen and Jones. That was the original plan until I found out there was a basketball game Sunday. Like I would have stuck around for a couple of days. But I didn't.
Because you couldn't.
Because I couldn't. And one night in Hawaii.
You can't even do it.
Yeah. I mean, I did again. I said, since I'm here, I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna do Diamond Head.
Live it up.
I mean, I said, like, I don't care. I'm not getting, what am I gonna do? Sit in my bed and sleep to prepare me for not sleeping? So I was like, I'm getting up. I'm getting out.
Did you go anywhere nice? Like
Diamond Head.
No, besides that.
Yeah, some Mexican joint on that like Waikiki strip.
Mexican joint
was good.
You're in Hawaii and you go to a Mexican joint?
Yeah, that was probably ill. I thought about getting like a poke bowl or pokey or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And it looked awesome, and I didn't do that. I got an acai bowl, obviously.
You should have gone to the market that I know exactly where you
Yeah, I know. I went to the market.
And they have the best poke.
I know. I could have gotten it.
Oh, it's the best, dude. The poke bowls there at that market.
I should have asked you about that.
Yeah, you should have. You should have.
Did you stay on Waikiki Beach?
I did.
For your honeymoon?
Yes, I did.
What spot?
I stayed over by the Grand Hilton, and then we went over by the Sheraton after. So we were in two different hotels. But where were you at?
Marriott, Waikiki Resort.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, it was within a few blocks, maybe.
They're all within a few blocks. The pictures that you had, I could tell you were.
It's so funny. So many people text me like, "Oh, I've been in that exact strip." Wait, I forgot what I was going to say there. I don't know.
There's just so many good things to eat around there.
There's a lot going on there. I mean, it is really. I mean, again, we live in San Diego, which is so spectacular.
You know what I noticed about you?
What?
When it comes to like going out and searching for cool places to eat, you don't do that.
There's two things I don't do.
You can't.
How about this? When I go on vacation with Kristen and she does all the prep and I do not, I will never look at a hotel before I arrive.
Why?
I want to be surprised.
What? Well, okay.
And I will never look at a menu ever before I get to a restaurant in my entire life.
Stop it.
Never once done that.
Are you serious?
Never in my life. Never in my life. I will never do it. Because what's the point?
I'm
the whole
shocked
point
right
of
now.
getting to the restaurant is you sit there and look at the menu.
The whole point is to know what the menu is before you get there.
I wouldn't go to Burger World USA.
No, but the whole point is to look at a restaurant and look at their menu and decide if you want to go to that restaurant or not because the menu looks good.
But going in and knowing what I'm going to eat takes away the
Are you as shocked as I am, Brent?
A little.
I have never looked at a hotel. I don't think when we went on our honeymoon, which is in South Africa, I looked at the hotels.
Dude, all I did for our honeymoon, I knew the ins and out of that place before I even got there.
I had no idea.
I need to know where like everything's at. I need to know what it looks like because I need to know that when we get there, it's gonna be good. I can't get there before I know
it's gonna be good. Well, I typically if we go somewhere, I'll blame Kristen if it's not great. But then she gets mad. You could have played a role in this.
You're a psychopath.
Yeah. This is how you end up with tortellini pizza.
Correct. Wherever I show, I don't even look at Google Maps. I didn't do that in Waikiki. I didn't do it in Chicago.
What is wrong with you?
I use my eyes, and when I see something that's appealing, I'll walk in.
I literally go to the first place I come across.
Now I might miss a great place.
All I do if I'm going to somewhere, like if I were in your position,
right?
Okay.
Oh, you would have had it all. You would have planned your whole 36-hour trip.
A week prior, I would have looked at the restaurants around me and I would have already planned out like where I'm going that night, which would have been for you Friday night. Yeah. I would have planned it out. And then I'd also plan out where I'm going to breakfast on Saturday morning. And then Diamond Head, I would have had that all planned out as well.
I didn't have that planned out. I asked ChatGPT and it said I had to have a reservation. So that's when I made a reservation that night, Friday night for Saturday morning.
The amount of things that you have probably missed because you don't
a ton. But I'm all about I'm the inexperienced guy. I want to experience it.
But you're not experiencing it until you actually look up the stuff to experience.
Oh, I missed some things, yeah.
Yeah, you missed a lot of things apparently.
But the hotel was great.
Hotel was awesome.
Hotel was good. Yeah. The hotel was good.
How did you
I don't know. You know me. All right, here's what we're going to do on the other side. We are going to give away tickets to see San Diego's Christmas celebration at SeaWorld. A 4-pack of tickets. We'll give those away on the other side. We have Aztec tickets against Boise State. We're giving away in the 4 o'clock hour. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, will join us coming up at 4:30. Stay with us, John and Jim.
All right, back here on John and Jim. John is currently John, just leave the studio. It's okay. It's okay. That's all right. This is more important things. So Jones's school just called, and John has to take this phone call. So John currently has to go deal with Jones's school for the time being. So
he ate a chicken nugget and he's losing his mind.
Yes. Is this John Schaefer? Yes, your son actually ate meat for the first time, and he's running around the school in excitement, and he won't stop.
He's saying they lied to me. They lied to me.
Is everything good? If you, it's up to you, dude. I mean, I just wanted to make sure everything's okay.
I mean, everything by and large is fine. The thing is, with 6-year-olds,
they're 6.
Yeah, like they make some. Now, it wasn't Jones.
Did he get in a fight?
No, he didn't get in a fight. He's never gotten in a fight. But 6-year-olds, I think like a kid spit.
A kid spit on him?
Yeah. So she was calling me. She like had to make me aware, which apparently the kid apologized.
Did Jones?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't talking to Jones, but there's some. I mean, again, when you have, you know what I mean? Like things happen. You'd like to think in school, like, oh yeah, they're in school, but there's like all kinds of stuff, bee stings, and now thankfully he hasn't been a part of any like fight or anything. But there are kids that like come home with like black eyes, you know. So now my wife is gonna freak out. I'm basically, I mean, as long as he's cool with it, I guess they're gonna talk to the kids about you're not supposed to spit on people. So anyway, it was about a spitting incident. It was like a Mike Schilt type situation with an umpire. Happened apparently today in school. All right, let's go. We're going to give away. We have tickets to give away. We're going to give away these tickets. We'll do it in about 5 minutes. 4-pack of tickets to see SeaWorld San Diego's Christmas celebration. We'll give those away in 4 or 5 minutes. Dave's been very patient on line 1. Let's go to the phones. Dave, you're back with us on John and Jim. Appreciate you.
Yeah, John, I totally understand and appreciate your feelings about flying over the Pacific Ocean, having done that trip 3 times in my life. I think the same thing. So I don't think you're the only one that thinks about, gee, it'd be nice to know that there's an airport
down below
somewhere in the distance here that we could have a safe landing in instead of, 1,000 feet below the sea. But nonetheless, so anyway, getting back to the show today, it's what we all expected, and it's a honeymoon, as any leader of anything gets. They deservedly get a honeymoon, and that's exactly appropriate for Craig Stammen. Now, the question that I have, or questions that I would propose that weren't asked, you interviewed Albert Pujols for over 9 hours. Did he not take the job? Was he offered the job? Why would you go to that length and have this man somehow not either be chosen or walk away? That would be the first question. The next one would be, was anybody else offered the job before Craig Stammen? And if they didn't take it, why not? And if every single person, as AJ claimed, was querying about the instability of his contract at this point, then did that have a factor in maybe other candidates not being interested or dropping out? So there's a lot of different questions that weren't asked today that at some point should be asked. And now we know AJ is going to double talk, and the organization is going to double talk. And the last question would be simply this: was this hire AJ's sole decision, or was this a combination of people who had the deciding vote? Somebody had to give the green light here. Who was it? Was it AJ? Was it Grupner? Was it a combination of people? That'd be interesting to know. What do you think?
Thanks for the call, Dave.
Appreciate you, Dave. In terms of the combination of who made the decision, to me, it seems like an AJ Preller decision. AJ Preller was the one that went to Craig Stammen and said, "Hey, put your hat in the ring."
Right.
So that, to me, leads me down the path of AJ Preller.
In the end, all the semantics here that we're trying to dissect of like who went to who and how do the other candidates feel and all that, all of that's going to be water under the bridge as soon as we get to spring training. And hell, as soon as we get to like tomorrow, I mean, that's already done with, right? Like I saw Nick Hundley, he was on Foul Territory today talking about, his opportunity to potentially be the manager of the Padres. And he kind of was like, I'm happy for Craig. You know, the political line. Like, I'm happy for Craig. I have no ill will to the Padres for choosing blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't think there's a problem. It's just the question now should be, is Craig the right guy?
Yeah.
Like, that's the question.
That's the question. Yeah.
You know, all the other stuff we can talk about today of like, that was weird. Why did he do this? Why did AJ do this? Why did Craig? The question is he the right guy? And we won't know that until next season.
Yeah, it's interesting to
or
me.
Maybe longer than next season.
To me, it's not even, I agree with you. Is he the right guy? It's almost, my question is it the right decision to go internal as opposed to go external? That to me is a big part of it. Like, it's basically a vote of confidence to keep it internal by saying AJ Preller's doing the right job and we're on the right path. So let's keep this thing in house, as opposed to, you know, going with someone like Albert Pujols, which provides unique perspectives, is a completely different type of candidate, and might point you in a direction where you can take like another step forward. So I thought by going internal, that to me says the organization believes the organization is on the right track. Where if they would have gone external, they would have said, you know what, we're doing good, but we can do better. So let's consider someone from the outside that allows us to take that next step.
Right.
So to me, it was an internal, external conversation. I think there's nothing wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with the decision of Craig Stammen, but that doesn't mean there's anything inherently right with it either. Like, I don't know if he's a difference maker. I don't think he's going to fall flat on his face. I don't think they're going 60 and 100 because of Craig Stammen. I mean, that's ridiculous. I also don't think they're going 160.
No, you know how Craig Stammen will be a good manager or not is determined by what the players do on the field for him.
Yep. And do they win in the postseason?
Like, is Craig Stammen, like, in the second inning of a game going to go out there and remove Nick Pivetta? Like, no, he's not. So those decisions are going to be, you know, towards the end of the games.
Yep.
He's not going to do something crazy. Like, what the hell is Craig Stammen doing? As far as like removing a star, like, hey, Manny, I'm pinch hitting for you in the third inning here. Like, what?
Right.
That's
not part of, right.
It's not happening. Exactly. But when it comes down to it, you know, bullpen decisions, taking guys out of games in certain points, maybe pinch hitting certain guys, like, those are all things, and making sure the clubhouse is all pulling on the same rope every single day. Those are things that Craig Stammen's going to have to do. And we're just going to have to see if he does it or not. Like, I think Craig could be the right guy, but I also think it could be a colossal failure.
In what way would it be a colossal failure? As in, because he's so ill-prepared, he's never managed before, the team just kind of falls on itself?
We have seen when guys are in over their heads.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah, and then the thing did unravel. Would Manny allow it to unravel with Craig Stammen as his manager?
Would Manny allow it to unravel?
Yeah, I'm saying because he's got a personal relationship with him.
Absolutely, Manny would allow it to unravel.
But not like Jace Tingler. Jace Tingler is like, who is he from Adam? Where Craig Stammen and Manny Machado go back 7 years.
Manny Machado has been a part of multiple unravelings here in San Diego.
Yeah, but I'm saying, would he sabotage the situation with a quote unquote friend in charge?
I
think he sabotaged 2019.
I don't think he will sabotage things, but I don't think Manny Machado will like put an end to things and make sure things get back on the right track. Manny Machado goes about his business. And if things go sideways, it's like,
so be it.
It's going sideways.
Yeah,
you know, I don't envision Manny Machado. Like,
you don't think he's going to pull on Craig Stammen's, you know, be a proponent of Craig Stammen in that chair?
I think he will be. Yeah, I think absolutely he will be. But I also do think, you know, you could lose Manny very quickly, even though it's Craig Stammen.
Yeah, I would hope that wouldn't happen in an instance like this where you actually have a relationship with someone. But yeah, I guess with someone like Manny Machado, he's like, what is this high school baseball guy?
Fell apart in 2019, fell apart in 2021, fell apart in 2023.
But 2021 was not Manny's performance, because we've done that game as bad as they were.
But still, you're asking, would Manny allow situations to go sideways?
Where the team goes
he
sideways.
Has allowed situations to go sideways multiple times.
Yeah, or he can't be the one to fully turn the thing around. Because I think in 2021 and 2023, it's not like his play was so horrific.
His play wasn't good in 2023. It was awful in 2023 in the second half.
But 2021, his numbers were good.
They were fine.
I think they were better than fine. I forget.
They were good.
Yeah. But
I just don't think that Manny's the type of guy, regardless of his numbers.
Let's do it for Craig.
Yeah, it's gonna put an end to whatever's happening. It's just Manny's Manny. Baseball's baseball for him, and he just goes about his day as Manny does.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, who wants a family 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego's Christmas celebration? Caller 7, you are going. 877-767-4760. Twinkling Lights meet Ocean Delights. I like that. November 14th through January 4th, you can experience the magic of the season and meet incredible animals like belugas, penguins, and sea otters. Plus, check out a winter wonderland with a million dazzling lights and the all-new Clyde and Seymour's Christmas. Tickets and more at SeaWorldSanDiego.com. Free tickets right now. 877-767-4760. The wrap on the other side. This is John and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. SDFC is moving on to the conference semifinals as they beat Portland last night at Snapdragon Stadium 4-0. They'll take on Minnesota here at Snapdragon Stadium Monday, November 24th. Aztecs basketball yesterday with a 20-point victory over Idaho State. They have a week off before their next game. And San Diego State football takes on Boise State this Saturday night, a battle for first place in the Mountain West Conference. And NFL news of the day, Brian Daboll was fired as the Giants head coach. And tonight, Monday Night Football, Packers and Eagles from Lambeau Field. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
Your favorite pair, John and Jim.
We're excited to name Craig as the next manager of the Padres.
Being in the front office the last 2 years gave me a bird's eye view of what it is behind the curtain and how things are operated. And as a player, you always think how things are going, but you don't really know.
A wheel route is going to be hit as he throws, and this is going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the Rainbow Warriors.
She has it. Cross. Under. Unders. Cherry on top. SDFC go to the conference semifinals. SDFC 4. Portland Timbers none. SDFC wins the series.
Now live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. Later this hour, your chance to win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs in Boise State. That'll be Saturday night at 7:30 at Snapdragon Stadium. We'll give away those tickets later this hour. If you missed Darren Smith, you're going to hear a conversation. Brent doesn't know this, but you're going to hear a conversation. Let's say, 5 p.m.?
Sure,
Darren.
John.
We'll hear what Darren had to say about SDFC and the hiring as well of Craig Stammen. All right, we're here for a couple of hours. We got those tickets to give away for Saturday night. And right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Will Craig Stammen manage a World Series game with the Padres?
Well, since no manager's done it since 98,
right.
Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, come on. No. Hope I'm wrong.
Will he manage a World Series game? No. Hope I'm wrong. I mean, that's exactly where you have to start it. The battle is uphill, even with the resources they now have, and even with their level of winning. You're still in the National League with LA. The Dodgers won't play in every World Series for a decade. You get it. It's not possible. But there's good teams in the National League beyond LA and San Diego. So it's certainly uphill. And these tenures of managers are averaging, 2.5, 3 seasons. So he's got to do it right now. So I'm hopeful, but I'm not overly optimistic, if I'm being truthful. Next question. And the next question. Hold on.
Hold on for the next
question.
I know the question. Is
what do you think it is?
A must-win. I don't know what it's.
Okay, it could be. You could go there. Brent, go where you want with the next one.
Wherever you want, Brent.
Are the Rams the best team in the NFL?
You keep jabbing me about yesterday's game.
I didn't watch 1 second of it.
You keep hey.
I texted him did you see this score?
I'm yeah, I saw the score. Well, here's the thing. It's kind of hard for a defense to stop probably the MVP of the league and 2 of the best wide receivers in the game.
Right.
When you are missing your all-pro linebacker, your first-round draft pick on the defensive line, your all-pro former defensive player of the year in Bosa, and multiple injuries on defense other than that.
42 points, though? Not 35, not 28.
Okay. I mean, the Niners put up 28 points on the Rams defense. The Rams defense, one of the better defenses in football.
They put 28 or 26 up.
Oh, they put 26 probably because they missed extra point.
Yeah.
The extra point got blocked and they missed.
But you're right. They still right. So they scored 4 touchdowns in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Dude, that defense, that Niners defense.
Is it a problem?
Oof, it's a problem. Are the Rams the best? Yeah. What was the question?
Are the Rams the best team in the NFL?
The NFL.
Well, or even you could say NFC. I mean, are they the best team in the NFC?
Seahawks would like to have a conversation. Seahawks Rams, by the way, next week. That's
Have they
gonna
met
be
yet?
good.
Is this the first meeting or the second meeting between those?
Might
two?
be the first.
Okay,
Now, when is that game? Is that game on Monday Night Football? Be nice. If
that's
it
a good
was.
question.
I don't think it is.
Well, this is a very good Monday night, by the way, in the NFC. Eagles Packers. It's compelling enough. Eagles Packers.
Next Monday, though, guess what? Guess who's playing on next Monday night?
I'm hoping it's Cowboys, Rams, Raiders, or Chargers, right?
Well, you're in luck because two of those teams play each other.
Is that right?
Yeah. Raiders and Cowboys next Monday night. That's effing
Oh,
go.
let's get some pregame coverage of that.
Hell yeah. But Seahawks Rams is a 105 kickoff next week in LA. That could determine who the best team is in the NFC. Rams, though, very good. Very good. They are one of the best teams in the NFC for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the best, but in listening to Will Brinson, who joins us at 4:30, he's really high on the Rams. So they're right there as one of the best teams right now in the NFL. Next question.
Is Saturday a must-win game for the Aztecs?
Yeah.
Yeah, to win the Mount West it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, it's pretty close to a must-win game.
Haven't had a 2-game losing streak all year. You will be in the driver's seat if you win this game to host the Mountain West Conference title game. You know, obviously, as long as you take care of your own business the rest of the year and don't slip up. But the remaining schedule after Boise, John, do you know what it's out?
San Jose State at home at New Mexico. But how are you going to win if you don't beat Boise at home? And let's say you had to go there. Let's say you won your last two and you still got to a Mountain West title game. I don't even know if they would, but if they would, in that scenario, then you're going to Boise for a Mountain West title. And if you don't beat them at home, are you really going to beat them there?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it's kind of must-winny. By the way, how many times has Boise State lost consecutive Mountain West games ever? They're coming off a loss to Fresno. Let me answer it. 2 times ever.
Jeez.
2 times ever has Boise lost back-to-back conference games ever. In the Mountain West, I've been in it about 15 years, but 2 times ever. So it's a challenge. Even with Boise State, they're dealing with the quarterback injury, but it's going to be a challenge, obviously, and a good opportunity for the Aztecs. Next question.
Who wins tonight's Eagles-Packers game?
Eagles.
Eagles in Green Bay?
Eagles in Green Bay.
Are they a slight favorite tonight?
No, the Packers are.
Are a slight favorite?
The usual 3-point home bump.
Okay, I think it'll be a very good game. Would your opinion change on the best team in the NFC based on a win tonight from either of these teams? If Green Bay wins or if Philadelphia wins, does that change your opinion on the NFC?
If the Eagles go out and blow out the Packers, then maybe. But
yeah,
the Eagles, to me, like, they're obviously really good. But I look at what the Rams look like and the Seahawks look like.
It's like the next level.
And the Lions look like.
Interesting.
I'm just doing the eye test here. And at times it feels like the Eagles are kind of playing in quicksand.
Yeah, just getting by.
And they don't, I haven't seen like a wow performance from the Eagles yet. I just go off what I see Erin's reactions are like too.
Right.
And she's just like, after wins, she's just like shaking her head. Like,
right.
Whatever. Like, they're not winning these games and looking like one of the best teams in the league. Their record's one of the best in the league. They have, I think, one of the most talented rosters in the league. But can their defense hold up? Is their offense going to be what their offense could be? I mean, they're like kind of a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde situation here, because Saquon Barkley does not look like Saquon Barkley like last year.
No, he's nowhere close. You're right. They're not using him like that. At least you're sitting right now. Are you okay with, if the postseason started today, the Niners being out?
It's fine.
Then you don't have to watch the playoffs. I mean, you don't have to worry about the Niners, because right now, just looking at it, the 3 wild cards are the 7-2 Rams or Seahawks, one of them. And then the 6-3 Lions or Bears are the other two, because Green Bay's 5-2-1. So right now, the Niners, now they're only a half game out, and there's tons of football. They've played 10 games. So they have 7 games, so they could certainly get there. But this was supposed to be the easy schedule year for the San Francisco 49ers, Jim. And they still, well, I mean, this schedule, can they not get to the postseason with this?
They could.
I mean, to Arizona, Carolina, Cleveland, Tennessee. I mean, give me a break. Get to the postseason, right? I mean, win games.
Yeah, but they're not a contender.
No, they're not.
If you think the Niners are a contender, you are mistaken. They're not. They're a like middle of the pack football team with all the injuries. Now, if they were fully healthy, which No team in the league is. But if they had their main pieces, if Bosa was still healthy, if Fred Warner was still healthy, if Brock Purdy wasn't injured, even though Mac Jones is playing really, really well, if Brandon Ayuk was on his way to come back, if Ricky Pearsall wasn't injured, like maybe. But they're not going to compete for a Super Bowl. So whatever.
I like that.
Just as long as none of their other main guys get hurt. It's all I'm hoping for now. Like
just finish the year without everyone on injured reserve.
Please,
yeah, that's a great point.
Stay healthy.
That's a great point.
So stupid.
All right, much more on the state of the NFL and the NFC with Will Brinson from CBS Sports coming up at 4:30. Plus later this hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Aztecs on Saturday night take on Boise State here at Snapdragon Stadium. Stay with us on John and Jim. All right, John and Jim. You can catch the Sean Lewis Show Thursday at 6 on San Diego Sports 760. John, that's me, and Rich, that's Ornberger, sit down with the head coach of the Aztecs. We'll preview Saturday's game right here against Boise State in San Diego. Sean Lewis Show Thursdays at 6 on your home for the Aztecs. San Diego Sports 760. Again, you can hear the Aztecs and Boise State Saturday night at 7:30. Pre-game coverage beginning at 5:30. I'm already kind of looking forward to it, honestly. It's a big game, and you're going to hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. We had a busy weekend on the radio when you think about it, with Aztecs football, Aztecs basketball, and SDFC, all that playing out in 24 hours. From Saturday night until Sunday night, we had 3 local high-level games. Obviously, San Diego State was 7-1 heading into that Hawaii game. You have Aztecs basketball, could be a top 25 team this year. And then, of course, SDFC, one of the final 8 teams standing in Major League Soccer. Pretty good.
Yeah, I got football, basketball, and soccer all in the station, plus NFL football as well.
That's right.
And
I can't
college football.
I can't wait for next Monday when you get to hear that big NFL game that we have on. I already forgot who's playing, but I'm excited because we're airing it. Cowboys Raiders.
There you go.
Is that what it is?
That is.
That is a big game. Seriously, Cowboys Raiders. You talk about brands. Now that's what they are.
Raiders suck. Cowboys suck.
That's what they are. You talk
a lot of silver.
Yeah, a lot of silver. Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4:30, and then at 4:45 we will give away again 2 tickets to see the Aztecs take on Boise State. Anything else out of the Craig Stammen convo that was a takeaway, or the press conference today that was a takeaway from you? Again, we were both caught off guard by it was AJ Preller that went to Craig Stammen, not the other way,
right,
regarding the job. He said he expects to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. He said that today.
He didn't say that he was going to manage games in his mind.
He didn't
so that's
say
good.
that. He didn't say that.
That's good.
Was there anything interesting that came out of it in general, the press conference?
No, not really. I mean, just looking at the bigger picture stuff.
Yeah.
AJ Preller's hired 5 managers.
Okay, that's a lot.
3 of them first timers, 2 of them not. 2 of them had experience.
Melvin and Schild experience.
3 of them didn't.
Tingler, Green, today, Stammen.
The 2 of them with experience succeeded here, and Melvin and
True.
Schulte. 2 of them without experience failed miserably, and now Craig is the 3rd without any experience. So which way will this go? Will it go the route of how first-time managers fare here in San Diego, which is epic crash and fail and burn, even though Andy Green had no opportunity to succeed here at all? Or is he going to go the route of the success where the only 2 managers that had success here are the managers with experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really know. I would say this about Melvin. I agree with your assessment and your opinion that it was a successful tenure, although I think there's a lot of Padres fans that disagree with that. And I can't tell someone how to feel about it. I think their feeling on Melvin is bitter, where I remember more of 2020. Like, what's a bigger takeaway, reaching the NLCS or falling flat in 2023? They both mattered. 2022 was really good. 2023, objectively speaking, was really, really bad.
Well,
obviously,
I said the last week that I could summarize Schulte's time here as a failure, but I could also see how it could be deemed a success.
Yeah, I don't know if I would characterize it as a failure. I get your point. It wasn't maybe what we had all hoped for.
But he did take this team to the postseason in back-to-back years, won 90-plus games back-to-back years.
Won 1 playoff series?
Won 1 playoff series, 1 and 2 in the postseason and playoff series.
I wouldn't call it a failure. And again, I'm not going to go paint it through rose-colored glasses and be like the greatest managerial run ever. No, I thought he had a level of success.
I did. They mentioned something today that kind of made me chuckle. They said the legacy of Mike Schild in San Diego.
Yeah, well, that's what Craig Stammen said. He hopes to continue the legacy of Mike Schild. I'm like,
whoa.
I mean, the legacy was fine.
It's fine.
I don't think he's getting the next statue.
No, I don't think so either.
You know,
or should he?
It'll be interesting to see whoever does get that next statue.
Like, but we have no choice here in San Diego. Fans have no choice but to have to give Craig Stammen a chance to see what they're going to do. And if he comes out next year and the team wins 83 games, they miss the postseason, are we going to put that on Stammen or are going to put that on the team? We'll have to see how things play out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be interesting if the team did dip in production with Craig Stammen.
I already know I already feel like next year I'm not going to be on the air and be like, Craig Stammen cost this team another. Like, I'm going to have to give him a little bit of leeway. But that's kind of on the organization, though, that I have to do that. Like, do I have to excuse away the 7th game of the year when it's botched?
Yes.
Be like, well, it's the first time manager.
No, just kidding. No, just kidding. No.
Can I go all in on Craig Stammen?
Yes.
Be like,
fire him.
You can't do that. That's the thing. And it's like, so it's not Craig Stammen's fault he hasn't managed. It's like, it wasn't my fault before I'd ever been on the radio that I'd never been on the radio. The difference is when I made my radio debut, I was in Lynchburg, Virginia. If you put me on the radio in San Diego when I was 22, you're setting me up to fail.
True.
So are you setting Craig Stammen up to fail because he hasn't been in that chair yet? I would argue that they might not be, because the dude has serious experience in the sport, not just as a player, but now in the front office, that at least he has more of a leg up on Jace Tingler,
right,
in my opinion. That's how I see it heading into like his stint.
Yeah, and he's given the keys to a pretty nice car. It's not like a Lambo or like something really nice like what the Dodgers have,
but it's not like
it's still
some
nice,
broken down.
Right. It's not what the Colorado Rockies are have, which is like
72.
Yeah, a 1993 like Toyota Corolla or whatever.
Right, without a bumper.
Yeah, tires missing.
Right, exactly. No, you're right. I mean, where would you put the Padres team out of the 30 heading into the year? I don't know. They have moves to make. But I mean, are they one of the 10 or 12 best teams in the sport? Yeah, probably.
With the roster they have, the core they have, I think a lot of people look at the Padres as like a top 10, 12 team in the sport.
I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
do.
That's where they sit. Yeah.
And we'll see what happens this free agency period and this offseason, what they do to address their problems, primarily the rotation. Because if they go out and they do re-sign Michael King and they make a trade for a pitcher, and then you have Musgrove, King, your new pitcher, Pivetta, Vasquez, JP Sears, kind of like, I'd feel much better about this team than if they don't re-sign Michael King. They don't make any significant moves of the rotation. They go and find some retreads and they go and sign O'Hearn, and O'Hearn's their biggest signing in the offseason. It's like, that can't happen.
I agree. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, to preview tonight Packers and Eagles, to talk about this past weekend in the NFL, including his MVP favorite, Matthew Stafford, and the Rams. Will Brinson on the other side. We've got Aztec football tickets to give away in about 20 minutes, so don't go anywhere. It's Sean and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again, and we've been telling you there's really no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer with new vehicles arriving now each and every day. We're talking about their popular cars and trucks and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, you can hurry into your Toyota dealer today. They've got great offers going on right now. If you want to pick up a new Toyota truck, they've got the largest inventory of not just Tacomas, but also Tundras ready to roll off the lots. The Tacoma is known for its toughness, legendary toughness, their off-road capabilities, their everyday efficiency, perfect for weekend adventures or just tackling your to-do list. And the Tundra, it brings serious power, impressive towing capacity, and bold design, plus the latest tech and comfort features. Whether you need a truck that's built for the trails or built for work or built for your family's next adventure, make sure to get to your local Toyota dealer. Again, with new vehicles arriving each and every day, we make it easy. See your Toyota dealer today.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance, SDFC. Moving on to the Western Conference semifinals as they beat Portland last night 4-0 to win their best of three game series, 3 games, 2 games to 1. They will take on Minnesota here at Snapdragon Stadium on Monday, November 24th. Aztec basketball yesterday beat Idaho State 73-57. Aztecs football taking on Boise State this Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. And news in the NFL today, Brian Daboll finally fired as the Giants head coach. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
All right, so we've got some football tickets we'll give away in about 15 or 20 minutes. That's San Diego State, Boise State coming up Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. But great to connect right now on this weekend in the NFL with Will Brinson with us each and every Monday from CBS Sports. Back with us right now on John and Jim. We'll look ahead to tonight, of course, a big one in the NFC between the Eagles and the Packers. But let's look back to yesterday, Will, and you've talked a lot about Matt Stafford and the Rams. The way they're playing right now, are they playing the best football in the league or in the NFC right now?
I mean, I think so. And you guys know I've been hyping up the Rams. I mean, I've been hyping up the Rams for several years now. But I mean, yeah. Look, Philip Rivers retired. I needed a new team. That little Colts, tryst was interesting. But I was happy to have Stafford win a Super Bowl. Stafford, next best thing. I think they are now. This game on Sunday. 425 window. I think we've got 2. It's like actually like this week 11's 425 window. Chiefs at Broncos, Ravens at Browns. Maybe that's a little frisky, but Seahawks at Rams and Chiefs at Broncos is great. It's the Seahawks. The Seahawks. I guess the point of this is the Seahawks are the only argument for the Rams are the best team in the NFC because the Seahawks are playing great too, and both teams have elite defenses. I think, all due respect to Sam Darnold, you have to give the edge at quarterback to Matthew Stafford. And, you add Shaheed in there. Maybe the weapons are kind of close if Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua are banged up. But I mean, in general, just 2 great teams. I would put them 1 and 2 in the NFC and maybe 1 and 2 in the NFL right now, just given the way that things have gone for the AFC in the last couple of weeks.
Is there anything the Eagles could do tonight to change your mind there?
Yeah, I mean, like go into Green Bay and blow the Packers out. And I said this probably 3 or 4 weeks ago with you guys, but the Eagles came into that week 7 game, and like all of a sudden just started throwing deep.
Right.
And it's like, well, that was kind of weird. I mean, smart, but weird. If you back it up in week 8 before the week 9 bye, then maybe we're cooking with something. They did it. They threw all over Minnesota too. And so then, it's like, okay, what are you going to do when you go to Green Bay coming out of your bye in week 10? If they come out and they're throwing down the field, Green Bay plays a ton of zone. So it's a little trickier to like get those deep looks to A.J. Brown versus having to just like dink and dunk underneath to Dallas Goedert and Devonta Smith. But if they come out and are kind of this high octane passing team and then Saquon gets going and has another monster game, which I think is totally possible despite the Packers being a very good defense. If that happens, then yeah, like, they're still a top 5 team. It's just, I feel like the first 6 weeks were so shaky with the Eagles, despite them winning a lot of games, that it was hard to completely trust them. But then those last 2 weeks before the bye, they do what we thought they could do, which is be explosive down the field. And that changes everything. Now, let's not sleep on, add Jalen Phillips and several other defensive pieces before the trade deadline, and your bye coincides with the trade deadline, which is huge because now you have time to implement them into that Vic Fangio defense. I mean, it's a really good team. If they shut down the Packers and they roll tonight, then yeah, like I think you can make the case that they're right there with the Rams and Seahawks.
Will Brinson, CBS Sports, with us right now on John and Jim. You probably can't make the case for the Giants being a good team in the NFC. They have fired Brian Daboll.
No.
So I'm just looking. They have the unique distinction of starting the last 3 years 2-8, They have the second worst
that
record in the
good?
league since 2023 to the Titans. 11.
Is that good?
I mean, yeah.
Right, exactly.
11-33 in their last 44 games. I guess the question is, are you surprised he lasted this long? I know they made the postseason his first year. Are you surprised he lasted this long? And secondly, where do they turn for their next head coach?
Yeah, this would be an interesting one. So, Dable, I'm surprised they didn't give him the full season, if only because he was the guy that was pounding the table for Jackson Dart by everything you hear. Now, we've seen this happen, and look, I mean, billionaires are smart people because generally, you generally don't get to be a billionaire unless you're, if you're a total idiot. Although, there's plenty of cases of it. And what I'm trying to get at here is I think that the Giants ownership, if you look at the last 3 head coaches they fired those head coaches and kept the GM. And that says to me that they are easily susceptible to sort of office politicking influence from the general manager. Like Joe Shane is going to get to pick the next head coach. I mean, he and Brian Dable came over hand in hand from Buffalo, and all the things they've done were together. And you can, it's obvious, if Brian Dable's being fired mid-season, that Joe Shane is doing what he needs to do to save his own butt. And then that should be a red flag for moving forward too, because now you have a coach or a GM, who's hiring the coach, who is hoping to he knows his job is on the line. I don't like doing business that way, but I get it. I see the concern with Dable and the 4 concussions with Jackson Dart, visiting the Blue Medical tent, some of the blow-ups they had, and then, of course, 32-8, 3 straight years. Is that good? No, it's not good. They've blown several leads recently. I personally probably would have held on to Dable a little bit longer. I think there's a chance that the Giants were worried their offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, who's going to be the interim head coach now in New York. I think there's a really good chance that they were worried he was going to get hired away this coming off season, and that they want to, knowing that their season's toast, right? I mean, they're 2-8. Their season is over. Jackson Dart has multiple concussions. I think they wanted to see how he operates as a head coach. Now that can be dangerous to given, too much weight to how a guy performs as an interim head coach. But I do kind of understand, let's get him on the field, running things, see how he operates. If it's impressive, then maybe we should look at him further. There's a report out there tonight, and it's kind of crazy. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network said Steve Spagnuolo could be a candidate. Now that makes a ton of sense to me, right? Former Giants DC, has been so great for Kansas City. Had that one bad run with the Rams. It really, probably wasn't his fault. You can probably pin it more on Billy Devaney. But then Antonio Pierce and Tom Coughlin were thrown out, I believe, which Tom Coughlin would be a wild ride for the Giants to take at this point. If you thought Belichick going to Carolina at his age was weird, Tom Coughlin coming back and coaching the Giants would be next level weird.
He's 80.
What?
Give me a break.
80.
He's 79. He's turning 80. Come on.
That would
I would say, I think if Kafka wins a few games down the stretch, there's a real good, because he was a finalist for several jobs in the last couple of years. If he wins, if that team looks good down the stretch and the offense stays afloat, I think there's a real good chance they would look at hiring him.
Is Dan Campbell the best play caller in the NFL? I feel like Dan Campbell, we're past the point of giving him praise. We've already gotten to that point because of what he's done with the Lions, but I feel like this just adds on to it now that he took over play calling yesterday and they put up 44 points.
I mean, you love to see it, right? Yeah. Dan Campbell's like, you know what? I'm the captain now. And I didn't think the play calling had been that bad, but I do think that, at various points in time that Dan Campbell probably just wanted to be a little more, not like a little more meat and potatoes, but just like a little more his image. And I think Ben Johnson had called that with his aggressive style. And so now you get Campbell being able to call the plays. And I mean, look, the Commanders are bad. They're in a real bad spot just in terms of the injuries and the age of that roster. We talked about it last week. They're now going to be missing Deron Payne, Jaden Daniels, a bunch of people, Terry McLaurin heading overseas on Sunday. They're 3+ point dogs to the Dolphins. It's, the the Lions had a pretty good setup, like going to face a team that just lost that, like we talked about it last week, right? Where it's like, you really left Jaden Daniels out there, and just the life sucked out of that franchise. And the Lions are 12-0 their last dozen games off a loss. I mean, it felt like if you're Dan Campbell, if you're going to call plays, if you're going to pick a time to call plays, that was the time to do it.
Right, exactly.
Will Brinson with us right now. All right, we touched on Philadelphia a little bit earlier, but what do you make of tonight? Who wins tonight and why? Packers, Eagles.
I think the Eagles win. It wouldn't shock me at all if it was just a close game. Probably, I think you can go. I know this is not a take here, but I think you can go either way here and talk yourself into the over, the under. Now, most people are going to say the Eagles in the under. Totally viable. I think there's a chance we see kind of a low-scoring game early on, followed by a burst of points in the second half. And I do think the Eagles have some success passing. I think the Packers will have some decent success passing deep. Christian Watson back now looking sharp. I mean, he has I love his over longest reception of 21.5 yards. He has a 33-yarder and a 50-yarder in the last two games. And Micah Parsons is unbelievable against the Eagles. If you think he wanted to beat the Cowboys, this guy grew up an Eagles fan. The Eagles passed on him. In 7 games against the Eagles, he has 5 sacks, 29 total tackles, 8 quarterback hits, and 6 tackles for loss. I mean, he is, and a forced fumble and several passes deflected. He's a monster against the Eagles. So you could see Micah Parsons being a wrecking ball and flipping this game. But I think, in my mind, we're going to see vengeance for the tush-push rule rule proposal this offseason. The Packers proposed it and said, we want to get rid of the tush-push. And I love the idea of Jalen Hurts scoring 2 or 3 times in this game just to spite the Packers for that this offseason. Nick Sirianni is. You talk about guys who are not afraid to be spiteful. Nick Sirianni is that guy.
I need the first play of the game to be a tush push.
I want it to be Air Force Academy.
I do too. I know. I want it so bad. 1st and 10 and just run the tush push.
Yes. Every play, 66 rushes, 3 yards per carry, but a first down every single time. You know what I mean?
20 plays, 66-yard drive.
11 minutes. Amazing. Will, we appreciate you hopping on. We'll be watching tonight. We'll catch up with you again next Monday.
All right, boys. Talk to you next week.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That'd be the best.
No Eagle receiver touches the ball again this year. It's the Eagles win the Super Bowl, only running
the Super Bowl.
The tush push. All right, call right now if you want 2 free tickets to the Aztecs Boise State game Saturday night, Snapdragon Stadium. We've got 2 free tickets. First place is on the line in the Mountain West at Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday night. Call 877-767-4760 if you want those tickets. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. We'll do trivia. We call it Trainwreck Radio. On the other side, you want to call right now. Great giveaway. 2 free tickets to see San Diego State and Boise State coming up Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Call 877-767-4760. That's next on John and Jim. All right, caller 2 is dropped off. We have Jesse waiting for our next caller for a chance to win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Boise State Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Who wants 2 free tickets? Aztecs, Boise State, first place in the Mountain West, Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Just call right now, 877-767-4760. You'll play Jesse in trivia, and the winner is going to see the Aztecs. So great giveaway. San Diego State, Boise State. I don't know if you call them rivals, but it's been a good series. Boise State leads at 6-4 all time in the 10 meetings. Boise has won 6 of the 10, which means it's been a good series because historically Boise basically beats everyone they play in the Mountain West. But the Aztecs have won 4 times in this series. The next iteration coming up Saturday night, Snapdragon Stadium. First place on the line.
Have they announced anything special for that night yet?
What do you mean by special? What are you waiting for?
I'm potentially waiting for an announcement
So
of, and this is just,
I'm listening.
I thought of this. Maybe like a whiteout.
You just randomly thought of a whiteout.
I did not randomly just think of that.
Why are you saying that?
Because I don't know. Just
because who thought of it if you didn't randomly think of it? I'm very curious in your line of thinking right now.
I don't know. It'd be cool to have one against Boise. They haven't had Boise.
No, I know Jim, and I'm looking right through your eyes right now. And
what? I don't know. So they haven't announced like anything special for Saturday night?
Yeah, I feel like you're telling me something without telling me something.
I'm not telling you anything.
Is this from our chat?
No. I have seen people on social media talk about it.
Okay, is that where you're getting it from?
Yeah, probably. I'm in a couple of Aztec chats, and so it's probably where I saw it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm getting into your mind right now.
You don't want to get into my mind.
No, I don't think they've announced that as of yet. But if that ends up being correct, I'm going to look at you and be like,
"What happened?"
Yeah, like how did you make that happen?
I did not. I can't make anything happen.
Okay,
I can't do anything around here.
Yes, you can. Why don't you go Saturday night?
Okay.
Is that an okay, like, leave me alone, or like, okay, like I'm going to go?
There's a potential that I could go.
You
but you
could go with Aaron.
but also leave me alone.
But yeah, well, you go with Aaron.
I could.
Date night.
I could.
Yeah. Date night with Aaron.
It's always
just wear white, even if it's not a white out, going all white, like white khakis, white t-shirt.
When I went to Backstreet Boys, we just
I was wear the same outfit.
All white out.
I love that, dude. That's such a good idea.
Where's the white out at?
I love that.
Perfect.
All right, this is interesting. Well, I don't know if anything special has been announced.
Okay.
But let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's contestants, we have Jesse and we have Kedrick. Jesse, you called in first. You have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
Go with John.
All right, Jesse and John.
I like that.
Who was the other contestant?
Kedrick,
you get me, okay? You get Jim.
Well, Jim is good.
All right, we like it.
Is he though?
Yeah, I'm okay. Brent, what is the question of the day?
That could be your future campaign slogan. Jim is good.
Jim is good.
All right, guys, the NBA season is about a month old. Can you name the 7 players who are averaging 8 or more assists per game so far this season?
Oh, my goodness.
So we're looking for the 7 players in the NBA right now that are averaging at least 8 or more assists per game.
Okay. This is going to be easy. Kedrick, you're up first. I don't know. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Not really good at the sports questions, but I'm gonna say Steph Curry.
Curry.
Is Steph on the list? Or
not on the list.
Okay.
Jesse, you're up. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'm gonna say Trae Young.
Trae Young.
I like that.
He's injured. Kedrick, you're up next. What is your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it. You have a lifeline.
I know I have a lifeline. I just don't think they're gonna answer right now.
No, the lifeline is Jim.
I'm your lifeline.
Oh, you my lifeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Regis. You don't have to call anybody.
Awesome.
He's like, I gotta call my friend.
Let's go with my guy Jim. I thought it was we have to call somebody.
No. We're not that sophisticated. We don't have that technology to do that. We don't have to do that. I will go. Oh man, I'll go Nikola Jokic. Do you take it?
Yes.
Okay, so we got.
Are we? Oh,
Okay,
boom.
Kedrick got that correct from Jim.
Yeah.
So now,
Jesse, are you
Jesse,
delivering a Grubhub order?
Are you ordering?
Me?
No, Jesse, are you ordering food?
No,
Okay,
I'm driving.
you're driving.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you're delivering food.
But you're up next. Nope. Okay. Great. This is awesome. Jesse, you're up. What's your next guest? You do have a lifeline, which is John, if you want to use it.
I'll use a lifeline.
Oh Lord.
Jokic is going to be my pick.
I'm just trying to think of NBA players right now. Hold on.
John,
I can see.
You're Mr. NBA like 2 weeks ago.
I've been watching a lot.
No, not recently.
I have not over the last. I've been busy, man.
You're Mr. NBA like the first week of the season.
I'll give you a really good score.
Score? We're asking for players,
Right.
John.
No, I know. Hold on. Give me 5 more seconds. Give me 5 more seconds.
Oh, your time's up. What do you got?
Not. I was gonna say the dude on the Sixers that isn't Edgecombe.
Come on.
That narrows it down.
Their point guard.
Who's their point guard?
I was thinking like Harden, maybe.
Harden. That's what I'm thinking. James Harden. I like it. Seriously.
James Harden, Jesse?
Let's go with Harden.
Boom.
Let's go with Harden.
How about that?
You got saved out by Jesse.
Former Sixers point guard, James Harden.
Sure. Was he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Of course he was.
My bad. All right, Kedrick, this is your final guess. You don't have a lifeline, so this is all up to you. What is your final guess?
I'm gonna go with a long shot. You got my last name. I'm gonna go Trae Young.
Trae Young's already been said.
He's already been guessed, so you can have another guess.
Oh, he already been.
Yep.
He's already been guessed.
Yeah. So
I remember hearing that.
Pick another player.
Okay, all right. What's his name? Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham. I like that. Yeah,
Oh!
good guess. That's a good guess.
Okay.
I like it.
Jesse,
He's a good player.
Jesse, what is your final guess? You don't have a lifeline, so what do you got?
Right.
I'm gonna say LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball.
This is
for the tie. So tie would be good. Oh,
That's it.
Kedrick won.
Kedrick won with Cade Cunningham.
I thought LaMelo Ball was potential on the list. Not really.
That was a good guess because he said Trae Young. He's like, let me try Cade Cunningham.
Now,
what?
I'm thinking about this list because I was going to say Luka, but last time I said Luka, he wasn't on the
wasn't
list
even, like,
because he
qualified.
didn't qualify for it.
Is Luka on the
But
list?
he's played more games.
No, because he's only played like 4 games.
Who am I thinking of on the Sixers? That's not
Tyrese
Edgecombe?
Maxey.
Yeah. Maxey. Is he on the list?
Yeah, he's number
That's
7.
a good guess from me.
Yeah, if you would have guessed a player instead of
The
one of
point guard for
the
Sixers.
13 people
Yeah.
that plays for the Sixers.
I was thinking Maxey.
Is Austin Reeves on this list?
Oh, probably.
He
He's
is.
done everything. Yeah, that's a good point.
Trying to think who else would be on this
That's
list.
There's only 2
I was
people
gonna say, that's the only
missing.
Can you give me the East or West?
They are one of each.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, Jalen Brunson.
No.
I'm drawing blanks. And
One of them played for my Bucks and the Celtics.
Oh, is Giannis on the list?
No.
Oh, no, Drew Holiday.
Yes, Drew Holiday.
And the Celtics?
Would never guess that one. No, the Drew Holiday played for you idiot.
And then there's a Western Conference player we're missing?
No, that was the
That was
Western
the Western
Conference.
Conference
He plays for
Can you
Portland.
go the Bucks? Hold on. Don't say anything. Let's do a Charles Barkley here.
Yeah.
What team does Drew Holiday play for? Who he play for, John?
Wait, but he plays for the Blazers.
You got it right, but you got you got lucky there because that was a blind guess.
I had no clue, dude.
No clue.
I've been watching.
The only one we're missing is Josh Giddey.
That's
of the
all.
Bulls.
Would never guess that.
Exactly. You wouldn't have got him.
Is Josh Giddey okay? Because he's got his ankles broke the other night. You see that?
Oh, dude. No, I didn't see that.
He's 9.3 assists so far. He's 3rd in the league.
All right.
Giddey.
Congratulations to whoever won. Kedrick.
So he's averaging under 13 assists. Anybody
Don't play that game. Don't play that game.
Anybody get the joke?
I get that joke. That actually got. Just Brent, you get that joke? All right. San Diego State Boise State.
I was going to make one earlier, but I thought against it.
No. But Jim didn't. Jim didn't think against it.
I did not think against it.
All right, Kedrick, you're going to see the Aztecs in Boise State. If you want to grab tickets, they've got a promotion going on right now. 2 tickets, $40 at goaztecs.com for Saturday night. We're going to hear from Darren Smith on the other side, John and Jim.
This update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. SDFC is moving on to the Western Conference semifinals after their 4-0 victory over Portland last night at Snapdragon Stadium. They'll take on Minnesota on November 24th here at Snapdragon Stadium. Aztecs football, they lost to Hawaii over the weekend. Next up, they'll take on Boise State this Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. And Monday Night Football, moments away from kickoff at Green Bay as the Packers host the Eagles. And other news in the NFL today, Brian Daboll was fired by the New York Giants. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
Your favorite pair, John and Jim.
Super excited to name Craig as the next manager of the Padres.
Being in the front office the last 2 years gave me a bird's eye view of what it is behind the curtain and how things are operated. And as a player, you always think how things are going, but you don't really know.
Tentacle, a wheel route is going to be hit as he throws, and this is going to be intercepted. Intercepted by the Rainbow Warriors.
He has it. Cross. Under. Unders. Cherry on top. SDFC going to the conference semifinals. SDFC 4. Portland Timbers none. SDFC wins the series.
Now live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, it's John and Jim.
All right, final hour of John and Jim. We're going to kick it off with a conversation we had a couple of hours ago with Darren Smith, back with us on San Diego Sports 760 on the call for SDFC last night. We start there. We end up talking Padres as well. But what was it like doing the play-by-play last night as SDFC moves on?
Well, thank you, guys. I was just focused on the John Schaefer call from the game with SU in Hawaii. I was captivated by that. I blacked out during my own call. I don't know if you go through this. I still cringe a little bit when I hear the sound of my voice, be it on radio or in a call like that. But it was great. It was just good energy in the building. Obviously, there was nervous energy because you don't know. We've never been in this situation before where your season is literally 2 hours away from either extending to another game, at least, or ending. And, you know, you can think about it all week. I can tell you I wasn't prepared walking into that building for it to be the final match of the season. But, you know, the soccer gods looked favorably upon SDFC. They came up, they showed up, they were ready to play, and they announced their presence early in that match and often in that match. They were the better team than Portland. They proved it over 5 games, 4 of them, or 3 during the postseason and a couple times during the regular season. So, it was a little touch and go after the emotions of losing a heartbreaker last Saturday night, but they atoned rather well. They carried a level of confidence with them into the game. I thought all week long it was really noticeable to me how confident they were, and that's how they played last night. So, good thing that they had their hands on the wheel. Not really a lot of nerves, no real panic, just very professional. We know we're better than you guys. We're going to go out there. We're going to prove it.
In seasons for teams at the trade deadline or making trades, it's a huge thing to see if those trades can help you win a championship. And I feel like Amal Pellegrino, it could be that trade that SDFC made earlier this year from San Jose that, could help them get to where they want to get to. He was fantastic last night. He's been fantastic since he's been here with SDFC. Just how big of a pickup has been Pellegrino for SDFC?
Massive, just incredible. You look at the players that have had multi-goal games for SDFC. Anders obviously has done it the most. He's done it 6 times now since he did it again last night. Chucky has done it 1 time, and I think Pellegrino now has done it twice. So I might be cheating Lozano on one of those. But, that's how big he's been. And he's been a big part of the recent success, for all of the chatter about what's going on with Chucky when he comes off in the Houston game a couple of weeks back, right? And that's kind of the moment, the flashpoint here where, I guess his reaction isn't great. And, he ends up, he and the club, they got to sort through some stuff, right? To the point where Chucky has to go on to Instagram and he has to apologize, but he was subbed off for Amal Pellegrino. And Pellegrino comes on in that game, and SDFC scores 4 goals in the second half against Houston. Pellegrino starts the next game, Decision Day, October 18th in Portland. Massive game. This is where you win the Western Conference. He starts that game because Chucky's not with the team. They score 4 goals in that game. He starts game 1 of the playoffs. You win that game 2-1. He starts the second game. You're up 2-1 really, really late, almost there just with 15 seconds left on the clock. He starts last night and you win 4-0 again. So, is this all due directly to Amal Pellegrino? I wouldn't say that, but, you are getting a little bit of an understanding as to why it is when people say, well, what's going on? Like, how bad is it with Chucky? I think we're past that. I just think it's to the point now where things are firing at such a high level that there really is no temptation to switch things around. I didn't know much about him. I've learned a lot about him. I didn't know what it meant to be a goal scoring leader in a Norwegian league. I'm sorry. Like I follow the sport, but I don't follow it that closely. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what it meant to be a 2-time champ and a Golden Boot winner in Norway. But, now we're starting to see it. And, he was on his way out. He was with San Jose. It sounded like it was a miserable experience. He told his agent, I'm done with the U.S. Get me out of here unless it's San Diego. And they made it happen. And he said this was the only place that he was going to go during the transfer window of the summer. Otherwise, he had opportunities to go back to Europe. But he saw an attractive style of play in San Diego with Mikey Vargas. He said, that's where I want to go. That's the only place I'm going to go. If that's not it, I'm headed back to Europe. And thankfully, SDFC found a spot for him because he's been great on the field and culturally just fits in a lot with the squad.
That is unbelievable perspective. Darren Smith with us right now. Again, on the call last night. You can find all of his work, by the way, as well at section1904.com. If you're a San Diego sports fan, and if you're listening right now, you probably are. Please visit section1904.com. So we look ahead, kind of.
Yeah, we get good guests on that podcast.
You have very good guests. I really enjoyed.
Okay.
I enjoyed whatever day.
Thursday, yes.
Last
Before your world
Thursday.
travels began.
When we found out about Craig Stammen, we'll get to Craig Stammen, but I want to ask you more about like Monday Night Football, so to speak, because 2 weeks from now we get a Monday night match between SDFC and Minnesota. What do we need to know about this matchup? How did it go in the regular season? Again, this is a 1 game to move on scenario in the Western Conference semis coming up 2 weeks from tonight, right?
Yep, 2 weeks. That's going to be another interesting weekend at Snapdragon Stadium because Saturday night, right?
That's right.
SDSU's playing. So someone said that. Well, why is it Monday? And I thought maybe we would get the Friday window, but they're going to give us the Monday window instead, just with the turnaround, I think, for the stadium. So, yeah, Monday Night Football returns to Mission Valley. Minnesota split. San Diego FC won there. It was a weird game because it came during an international window, so both sides were without some key players. And then Minnesota came here and won 3-1. It was an insane game. They've got a great goalkeeper. His name is Dane St. Clair. He's the starting goalkeeper for the Canadian national team. That night at Snapdragon Stadium, SDFC was all over Minnesota. I mean, peppering them, shot after shot after shot. I was literally just looking at the stats. They were all over the place flying, and this guy made 13 saves. And I think that was the season high in Major League Soccer this year. He was the man of the match. He was just incredible. He was a brick wall. Again, MLS goalkeeper of the year. Really, really good. Great, big personality. They're not, prolific scoring. Sold one of their better players during the transfer window. They're known for being sort of the opposite of SDFC, whereas SDFC is obsessed with possession. They want the ball. They want to dictate the pace. Minnesota's last in the league in that. They don't really care. They're like, hey, you can have it. We'll just play the way that we want to play. So it's two contrasting styles. It was split during the regular season. But the way SDFC is playing right now, I mean, we're sitting here talking about 2 wins away from MLS Cup, from appearing in it. So I just think they're flying. Even during the week, coming off that loss in Portland, we're so trained to think that these things have carryover. And the very real, recognized confidence that they had makes you believe in them, that they just feel like if they go out there and they're true to themselves and they play the style of soccer that they want to play that's been so successful all season, then they're willing to lace them up and go head to head with anybody in this league.
Are you at all concerned about the layoff here, or on the flip side, could actually help them because CJ Dos Santos, I don't know his status, but could it help them with getting him back on the field?
Yeah, it could. I think that's probably a long shot. Yeah. CJ has a broken cheekbone and a concussion, and you never really know how long is it going to take to come back from a concussion. Certainly, I think there's every confidence in the world in the backup, Pablo Cisniega. It's been said all season long. It's not one of those things where, okay, you got to turn to the backup, so let's make sure we say some good things about him.
Right.
They've said it all year long. Like, they really feel like a lot of CJ's success becoming a number one goalkeeper is because he's had Pablo pushing him. And Pablo's a terrific guy, like great human being to talk to. So I don't know that there will be enough time. Fingers crossed just for CJ that he can get himself healthy again, get through the concussion and, the facial fractures. But I think it does give us a little bit of time to get some of our defensive players back. We've had a little bit of a crisis on the back line with some of the right back position, although you wouldn't know it watching first-round draft pick Ian Pilcher play. But there have been 3 different players who have missed a handful of games here in Oscar Verhoeven, Willie Kumado, and Aiden Harangi. So it might give us a little bit of time to get some depth back on the back line. Although, like I said, you wouldn't know it the way these guys have played, the way the next man mentality works with San Diego Football Club and Mikey Vadas. But, it just does give everybody a little bit of a break. 4 guys will be off on international duty. So there's going to be a little bit of traveling for 4 of the key players. But it is a nice break. And you do worry about the rest and rust thing, but both sides are going to have to go through it. So especially being able to play back at home, I think these guys will probably appreciate and have a couple of days and a little extra time here to just appreciate what they've done and look forward to what is still possible.
Switching gears, Darren, we were reacting in real time on your podcast on Thursday, section1904.com, to Craig Stammen. I think we had found out literally moments before that he was reportedly the next manager of the Padres. Is now official. As you've digested over the course of the weekend, which was busy, and you were on the call last night for SDFC, but you heard what Craig had to say to some extent here today. Where are you in the hire as Craig Stammen will lead the Padres in at least 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody probably roots for Craig Stammen because who wouldn't? It came across, I thought, pretty well during the press conference why it is that so many people are lining up to say great things about Craig Stammen. And, it used to be a joke, a little bit of a joke that we had, and Jim and I were texting about this a little bit. There was a story from a couple of years ago, which was like over the top about how all the teammates love Craig Stammen so much. And, we had this quote from Jake Cronenworth about, that guy over there pointing at Stammen. And so okay, we get it. They all love Craig Stammen. He was a great teammate. Sounds like a tremendous human being. So I think it's right to root for him, but I do think the process is bizarre. I mean, what he said today about going from the interviewer to the interviewee and how AJ was really sort of decided that he wanted this guy to pursue this job before Craig Stammen realized that he wanted to pursue the job. It's just not something I've ever heard before. And fair to wonder what this might mean to some of the other candidates, especially guys that were considered favorites for this job. I've just never heard a process like this where a guy's in the organization, starts interviewing, is part of the interview process, and then ends up getting the job. I mean, it's just a kind of a crazy thing, and I mean, I'm a little, I don't know. I don't want to say worried, but when he starts talking about, now he's going to be pushing some of his best friends to be successful. Yeah. And he's talking about how he called them teammates at one point. Like he said, my teammates. I feel like he's still sort of plugged in the player mode. And I'm sorry, that is just not the job of the manager. No. The manager is going to have to make really, really difficult decisions. And some of those decisions aren't going to be received well by players because it might be impacting their contracts. So, I hope he's got a firm grasp on that you are still in the clubhouse. You recognize some of these players. You played with some of these players, but you are not their teammate. You are just not. You are an extension now of the front office. And AJ Preller's got to play hardball with some of these guys. Let's just say, as an example, through arbitration or contract negotiation or injury or trades. And it's not the environment where you're your buddy and your teammates with guys anymore. You're on the other side of that. And again, you have to go out there and tell Joe Musgrove, or some other pitcher, let's say, that's approaching free agency, I'm taking the ball from you. And the guy's like, no way, man. Hey, this is going to impact my contract. Those are things that you've got to do that stuff. And at times they could have all the respect in the world for you and your decision making, but you're not a teammate of theirs anymore. You're the boss. So smart enough to understand that. It's just interesting to hear him use some of the words that he used today during the press conference.
Those are great points. And this will be fascinating because it's not like the Padres we'll just ease you into it. Maybe in a couple of years we'll be good. No, you got to be good now.
That's the first thing that we noticed today was wait, you had to have your arm twisted by AJ, not the other way around?
Right.
That's weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you guys played a clip from Marty on off to the side with AJ, there was another part of that clip where AJ's talking about how he didn't just campaign to Craig, but he campaigned to Craig's wife. He's like, well, put your wife on the Zoom. And he started selling her on the job. He's like, what do you need to hear from us for you to feel comfortable as a family unit to move from Ohio to come to San Diego, which is interesting. I'm not being critical of it. I'm just saying it's an interesting thing. It's almost like he's a college coach, right? Like he's Sean Lewis sitting in somebody's living room. And not only is he talking to the player about coming to San Diego, he's talking to the player's parents. So like, it's just I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen a recruitment quite like this from a president of baseball operations.
Well, we'll do it again in a year when they hire Ruben Niebla.
Right. Successor of the team.
It seems like this has been happening all too often, the hiring of a new manager in San Diego. Darren,
that's the other thing too. I was like, wow, the guy looks great. Let's screenshot this and see what he looks like in 2 years.
It's like a president.
That ages you in dog years.
That's so
right?
true. It is so true.
Yeah.
Mike Schultz looked great 2 years ago.
Last thing is, then like the other last thing is, did you notice how many times they referred to Josh Stein today?
So many.
Oh,
dude.
Do you think are we trending to a path where AJ's deal says he's the VP? I mean, he already is the VP of baseball operations, and Josh Stein is the quote unquote general manager.
Well, it was made pretty clear today, and it wasn't just AJ. It was also Craig Stammen talking about how this was sort of a two-headed effort from AJ and Josh. Like there were four key players that were talked about today. One was John Seiler, one was Eric Grubner, one was AJ Preller, and the other one was Josh Stein. So maybe nothing, but you know the way we are.
Maybe that's why a contract isn't done yet. Maybe that's why a contract's not done yet.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that might be the case.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that's not a bad shout right there. That might be part of this.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. All right, I like that. Darren, appreciate you, man. Great job last night. Again, for our listeners, if you haven't been to section1904.com, if you're by a phone, not in a car, but if you're by your phone, if you're by a computer, go to section1904.com. Find Darren each and every day there. Appreciate you, my friend. We'll do it again as this postseason continues for SDFC.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
All right, more reaction to that on the other side. Craig Stammen, the new manager, SDFC, advancing in the postseason, Aztec football and basketball talk as well. Here until 6 p.m. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. It feels like a busy news day with San Diego sports, with, again, Craig Stammen being officially introduced. Now, we've known that for 3 or 4 days. And then again, SDFC moving on and Aztecs basketball winning and a big football game coming up on Saturday. Oh, here's what I was going to say about the football game, Jim. You said, is anything going on? I went to the website when you were talking about that, and then I think we got into the wrap or something. They have a halftime drone show, which is pretty cool because they've never had the drone show. I've never seen a drone show. There's been a lot of national, like, sports-related drone shows. I'm curious to see what it looks like, truthfully. Because have you seen a drone show? Have you been in person for one?
Yeah, I've seen a drone show.
Where'd you see it? Like fireworks?
Disneyland.
Okay.
There was one downtown one time for Comic-Con, which is pretty dope.
So I don't know even what to expect. Like, they can put whatever they want in the sky in terms of what it says or what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's okay. So that's at halftime.
Yeah. I don't know how it works,
Saturday.
but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it says drone show.
Drone show.
It'll be my first drone show because I feel like working in minor league baseball, all you saw was fireworks. I became so like,
drone shows are the new fireworks.
Yeah, and I was so like over fireworks because what's the word when you're like,
once you see one fireworks show, you see them all.
Yeah, like I was like disenfranchised. I don't know what the word is, but like, yeah, I'd seen so many fireworks shows that I was so over them, but I've never seen a drone show.
Oh, I saw a drone show at Petco one time too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they're really cool. If they're done right, they're really cool.
Okay. I'm curious to see it.
Yeah, but the drone show is now the replacement for fireworks.
That's like where we are.
Yeah. Now you could put fireworks with the drone show.
Right.
You can have both.
Yeah, I'm not like anti fireworks, but I mean, everyone's been there, done that with fireworks. I feel like fireworks are good with kids.
Yeah.
Because all kids love fireworks.
Right. I am not the biggest firework person. I like fireworks, but I'm not like, oh, we got to see the fireworks. I've seen so many fireworks.
I know. As a kid, I did like them. Like when I'm thinking back at my childhood, seriously, do you remember like, do you have any memories as a kid of like the 4th of July with fireworks? Like,
no.
Really?
I can't.
Really? Okay.
No. Nothing like
memorable?
No.
Interesting. I do. Like it was like the big thing, like in town, like you'd go to your community, like they'd shoot off fireworks. I don't know. Brent?
I had a shell fall on my head once.
You had a shell?
Oh, I think like when they fire off the thing, sometimes it doesn't.
Like
sometimes it doesn't completely burn down off of reentry.
Okay.
My family, we used to always go to, my parents' best friends had this house that was right next door to the park where they shot the fireworks off in the town we lived in, and they had a pool. So they would have a huge 4th of July party every year, and we'd go over there and we'd just go swimming all day. And the one year I didn't get out of the pool because we're literally right. You go over a fence and 5 feet, there's the park, and you could see like the guys running around setting off all the mortars and everything. And I was in the pool, and all of a sudden I felt this thing fall on my head. And it was remnants of a firework. And it probably would have started my hair on fire if I wasn't in the pool.
Wow.
That's interesting.
My hair was wet.
Okay, then a drone show is preferred over that because there's no...
Probably.
Yeah, I think that is
safer.
Preferred. So yeah, that's Saturday night, San Diego State and Boise State. We were waiting 2 weeks now for SDFC. So they're not going to play for 2 weeks, literally from tonight, Monday night. And I got a release, actually. Did you see this release from SDFC? That they sold more... SDFC announces highest single-day ticket sales in club history ahead of Western Conference semifinal.
Wow.
So today, now it hasn't sold out, so if you want tickets, you can get them. But this is the highest single day they've ever had for single game tickets.
That's incredible.
Because again, they're playing on Monday, but like you said, it'll sell out. They're expecting a sellout.
Yeah, and you have 2 weeks, so you have like a set date.
Yeah.
It wasn't like between games 2 and 3 where it's like no one knew that there was going to be a game 3, even though there was, I think, 32,500 last night at the stadium.
Is that what they? Yeah, that makes sense.
They had announced. But now you have a set date. You have 2 weeks to prepare.
Yep.
That place is going to be rocking.
It'll be rocking. I mean, these 2 playoff matches have been rocking. They did announce in the release, by the way, that the conference finals are either Saturday or Sunday, and then MLS Cup is a predetermined Saturday, December 6th, if they make it. That is predetermined in the time as well. All right. Much more. Craig Stammen being named the next manager of the San Diego Padres and what he had to say about it on the other side. This is John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. SDFC moving on to the Western Conference semifinals after their 4-0 victory over Portland last night. They'll take on Minnesota here at Snapdragon Stadium on Monday, November 24th. Aztecs basketball yesterday with a big win over Idaho State, 73-57. They're now 2-0 on the year. They take on Troy next Tuesday at Viejas Arena. And Monday Night Football underway right now at Lambeau Field. We are scoreless with 5:38 left to go in the first quarter there. Other news in the NFL today, Brian Daboll was fired as the Giants head coach. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
Full disclosure, I wasn't really listening to your update, but I assume you did not say that we have the rookies of the year.
Nope.
Nick Kurtz of the A's and Braves catcher Drake Baldwin. So Nick Kurtz, wildly expected, obviously, or widely expected with the A's. And then Drake Baldwin. In fact, Kurtz was unanimous. Baldwin was not. Drake Baldwin of the Braves and Nick Kurtz are the breakout years. The A's slugger. They have won NL and AL Rookie of the Years here in 2025. Real quick on the Craig Stammen thing, getting back to him being introduced as manager. You even tweeted a little bit about this. What do you think the dynamic will be like with Niebla and Stammen? Yes, Stammen was coached by Niebla here and in Cleveland. And from everything Craig Stammen said, he said all the right things. He said everything right. He's going to rely on him heavily. They have a good relationship. He's helped him throughout the course of his career. But what's it really like? I can say that, but what is it going to be like behind the scenes, knowing that Ruben Niebla wanted the job, didn't get the job, and now works for Craig Stammen?
I think it'll be fine.
In the end, it's fine?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be anything from it. I don't think there's going to be like I hate you or I'm going to secretly try to get you to be fired so I can become the manager.
Right.
I don't think that's the job. Honestly, I mean, Ruben Niebla, if you think about it, if he did get like a raise.
Oh, you're saying maybe he ended up in the better situation?
He's not the manager. He's not going to get all the heat.
Right.
We know he's going to have this pitching staff performing well.
Yes, you're right. He's not taking if they go 82-80, I doubt you're going to be like, Ruben's got, it's not going to be on Ruben.
If you were the hitting coach of this franchise, then you're going to be thrown under the bus any chance that fans will get. Ruben Niebla, I feel like, has built up enough equity here in San Diego with the fans that they trust Ruben, even if the pitching staff isn't pitching well. They trust him to at least have things turn around and go in the right direction. I think, honestly, if I'm Ruben, I feel like I might have a pretty good cush job right now. I'm in San Diego. I'm not going to get heat when we lose. I know that this pitching staff is going to perform well with me running things. And when we go 83-79, guess what?
They're not going to.
People are going to want Craig Stammen's head, not mine.
Did you hear him say this today? The Padres tweeted this out. We're going to be a lethal combo when we're talking about pitching decisions. And he might be right. That was Craig Stammen that said it today. I do envision Craig Stammen being able to get inside the psyche, obviously, of both his starter and his bullpen and having a feel for it. And the same could be said for Ruben Niebla. But you and I both know, because we've spent so much time examining the Padres, like specifically with like a wrap-up show or the next day on John and Jim, that it's one thing to be like, oh, I pitched, so I'm going to use my bullpen right. It's another thing to get it right at the exact moment you need to get it right. The right circumstance, the right time to yank your starter, the right time to turn to someone for a second or third consecutive day, or the right time not to do that. Like, there's a little bit of a feel for it. It's an art. It's not always a factual thing. So, yeah, I think they have a chance to be good with their pitching staff, but I don't know if it's a guarantee just because Craig Stammen pitched. That means he's going to be like the best user of his bullpen in baseball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
like, it's one thing that you pitch, but does that mean he's going to pull all the right strings?
We don't know. But doesn't it give him at least a tiny leg up?
I would think so. I'd like
when
to think
he's
so.
done it and he knows maybe what to look for when a guy's done. If he has it, doesn't have it.
True.
right? When to make the right moves.
Yeah.
I mean, we might be looking at here, and this is maybe going a bridge too far.
Mm-hmm.
This is maybe me sounding like the people across the street as far as like homerism goes.
Yeah.
What if, because you don't have any like full-time middle relievers as managers in baseball.
None.
What if this works out like really well?
That's fascinating. Yeah.
And people start looking at former middle relievers to be managers because what Craig Stammen potentially could do here with managing a bullpen, because he knows firsthand experience what a bullpen looks like and when guys need off days and this and that and when to make the right moves, and couple him with Ruben Niebla.
I feel like, okay, yes, if that were to happen, maybe. But is that like 4D chess? Does Preller envision that? Or did he just hire a buddy?
He hired, I don't think he hired
a
buddy.
confidant.
I think he hired somebody that, I'm not going to say he just hired a buddy.
Not a buddy. That's not, he didn't hire a buddy, but like, did he make this hire because he believes he gets a leg up in a category like that? A critical category, which is like implementing your bullpen successfully all year long is a difference maker in baseball. Does he believe that because Craig Stammen has been through that? Craig saying today, I believe in every season I pitched, I probably pitched in every inning of every season, as in I'd come out of the bullpen in the second inning as a long guy, or the eighth inning because I was having a good year and I was a setup guy. Like, he's pitched everywhere in a game and he understands what that entails.
Well, the bar is, I think, pretty high for me for Craig Stammen and his bullpen usage this upcoming year.
I agree.
Right? Because you're a former middle reliever.
Yeah, you better not be terrible at that.
You can't F that up. You can't have guys overworked. You can't you're going to make wrong decisions eventually.
Of course.
But you can't have it be one of your MOs that you F up in late inning situations with pitching changes.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be this team's strength, along with the pitching staff in general, because you have Ruben, you still retain Ben Fritz, and you got Craig Stammen.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting when you put it that way. You know, it's funny because sometimes we assume that, okay, because this guy was a really good hitter, he'll have a really good offense. You know what I mean? Like, if they hired Albert Pujols, does that make him a top 4 offense in the sport? You didn't hire Albert Pujols to play in your lineup.
No.
So just because you hired Craig Stammen, does that mean your bullpen's going to be elite? I think their bullpen's elite because of what AJ Preller maybe has built.
Well, you need the players.
You need the players. But you're right. Like, he better strategically be good with his bullpen, because if he's not, you're going to be like, how are you not? You were in these spots throughout the course of your career. You should have an innate feel for it.
Yeah. If he puts together a year like Mike Schilt put together this past year, with not letting guys go deep in games, taking guys out early, and heavily relying on your bullpen throughout the course of an entire season. I'm not saying the bullpen was gas at the end, but I mean, you only had really 2 guys you could count on, even though Jeremiah Estrada kind of almost saved the day in game 3. It could have been way worse. Yeah. But bullpen management and starting pitching as well. I mean, all of it, all the above, starting pitching, bullpen, all of that.
I did hear Preller today in a breakout interview say they will consider moving relievers into the rotation. Not that it would happen, but they'll all sit down with the group think. And he wasn't specifically saying Mason Miller or Adrian Morejon or anyone. They have taken pitchers and moved them from bullpen to rotation and had a level of success with it. But like, you think about what they need to do with their rotation. And again, this conversation will switch to the offseason needs with the GM meetings underway tonight in Las Vegas. Like, they have needs in the rotation right now. And Craig Stammen doesn't solve that. And is it Adrian Morejon? Is it Mason Miller? Is it neither of them? Yeah. And you go outside or you go internal. That's where that's where I'm going to shift towards. Like, you got serious pitching question marks heading into the year.
Yeah,
or heading into the offseason.
Right. Yeah, you need to address those first thing, even though the problem with the team wasn't the pitching this year.
No, it wasn't.
It was the offense. How are you going to address that? Who's your next hitting coach?
You got to fill out this.
Who's going to be your first baseman? Right? Who's going to be on your bench? Who's your DH? Like what's your offense look like next year? Because it's 2 straight seasons where the conversation
in the offseason is about the offense, even though their biggest needs are still probably pitching.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by certainly the winter meetings, what the Padres, where they're going to be with their offseason needs. I don't know what we'll learn at the GM meetings, but certainly in the weeks ahead, we'll learn a lot more. All right, Jim's back page is on the other side. We're here until 6 p.m. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, final time on John and Jim. We do remind you, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances to win $1,000. Every weekday, it's the Bonus Bucks giveaway every hour, 6 a.m. through p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 6 p.m. One note out of this press conference also today is what Jason Adam had to say. He attended, the Padre reliever who was out with that quad injury at the end of the year. He says he expects to be back early in the year, if not by opening day.
That'd be
player.
huge.
It's a player saying it, but even early in the season, yeah, that's huge for the Padres. This guy was one of the best pitchers on the team, obviously, last year.
And if they don't convert either Mason Miller or Adrian Morejon as a starter, man, their bullpen's still nasty.
Loaded. Yeah.
Mason Miller, Adrian Morejon, Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada. You throw David Morgan in the mix. You throw whoever else you want in the mix. They go out and sign somebody or whatever. Like, they got some weapons at the back end there.
And Adam, we talked about this briefly. Like, he didn't blow out his arm. He blew out his leg. So I'm more confident in him coming back and being the same pitcher than I would be if he had like a shoulder injury, for example. So we'll see on that. But that is encouraging, I would say. Now, is he going to be ready like March 26th? Or I mean, you don't need to have him ready March 26th, but if he's ready like April 25th or something like that.
Right.
We'll get to Jim's back page, I believe, in a moment. Eagles, Packers scoreless tonight in Green Bay through a quarter. I think that's right. Start of the second quarter. Eagles had a very long drive and fumbled going in. And now Green Bay has it to start the second quarter. No score. Monday Night Football.
So Erin just texted me.
Oh, right.
She goes, how do I watch the Eagles game? And this was during last segment, so I didn't text right away. And then she sends me like 7 question marks. You know when your wife sends you like 7 question marks? It's like, answer me now.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, it won't let me watch. And I was like, oh, because I have YouTube TV. And I feel like I've told her this.
Yeah.
But she probably wasn't paying attention because why would she care?
Yeah. Typically doesn't impact her.
So I'm like, oh no, because I forgot. I was like, oh, they're on Monday Night Football, ESPN. We don't have ESPN because stupid ESPN and YouTube TV are still fighting.
But we have a $20 credit or whatever we have. Or
this thing better get resolved here quickly.
They say,
I mean, this is a joke
now.
This is a joke.
I don't know who I'm putting it on. I'm putting it on both. I put it more on ESPN. That's me. I don't want the bill to go up either. I don't want to go from $82.99 to $89.99, for example. I'd rather pay what we're paying.
I blame ESPN.
Yeah, I'm putting it more on ESPN.
I blame ESPN. They're to me.
What do they get per subscriber? It must be so much money.
I don't know, but it's ridiculous. It's
but
absolutely
the fact
ridiculous.
that you can't watch Monday Night Football, and we're paying for it. Like you said, YouTube TV, we're paying for it.
This is a huge game.
Last week, they had the Cowboys on, dude. The Cowboys draw tens of millions.
Ratings were down.
Yeah, and ratings will be down for this.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you find it interesting? Because YouTube TV, I saw in an article, the total number of YouTube TV subscribers in the United States. Can you guess how many people that is?
10 million.
There you go.
Is that right? Because I saw someone say something about, there's 10 million people not watching. So I was thinking it was
10. I think it's like 10 to 12 million total subscribers for YouTube
It's
TV.
a lot. Are you saying it's a lot or a little overall?
For the entire country?
Right. Like back in the day.
I thought it was upwards of maybe like 50 million.
That'd be huge.
But that's a massive number.
I wonder who has more than 10 or 12 million. That's a streamer. Like not like your Spectrum or Comcast. Like cable systems have tens of millions of subscribers still. Yeah. Is there any, like does Hulu have more than YouTube TV for live channels? Is this the biggest? I think this is the biggest quote unquote streaming like cable platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 million people is a lot of people.
It's a lot.
Because that's households, because it's you and Aaron. Now you're talking about 20 million, 30 million people.
And by the way, one of our good friends, they have our YouTube TV account. So
there's more people.
There's one household, which is me, one person.
But it's like
providing to 4 people.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. All right, let's get to the back page.
John, who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob. SquarePants.
There you go. Burger King.
His full name.
Yeah. Burger King is diving under the sea this December.
Cool.
With the launch of the Krabby Whopper. A SpongeBob SquarePants collaboration is set to hit U.S. locations on December 2nd. Inspired by the upcoming SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants.
What?
The burger features a yellow square bun and full themed packaging that brings Bikini Bottom to life.
There's a SpongeBob movie? Jones is gonna be so excited. I didn't know that. Did you know that before this?
I didn't, because I don't watch SpongeBob anymore.
But I mean, I haven't seen it. You used to watch it?
Everybody used to watch SpongeBob, dude.
I'm
even though I was a kid when I watched it.
I'm too old. See, me and Brian are past it.
Yeah. I look,
because it's 25 years, I think.
I was not like a
I was like in my teenager years.
Yeah, see, it's 25 years because he's in 36.
I never was like, I gotta watch SpongeBob. But like if it was on, I'd be like, whatever.
It's not bad. When I watch it out, Jones, like it's funny.
It's good.
Like, it's good. It's honestly a good cartoon.
Yeah, it is one of those cartoons that if you watch it as an adult,
it's a little weird.
It's a little weird, but it's not like the corniest, weirdest thing on the planet, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. December 19th, by the way.
Because there are funny jokes in there, like Patrick the Starfish and SpongeBob, like their dynamic, like that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, leaked promos show a full menu lineup, including Mr. Krabs' cheesy bacon tots, a frozen pineapple float, and Patrick's starberry shortcake pie. Wow. Plus kids meals in pineapple boxes with collectible toys.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not we don't eat meat, but I'm going to go there for something. Like you said, there were some non-meat items on there.
The Bikini Bottom bundle includes all Krabby Whopper, Mr. Krabs' cheesy bacon tots, a pineapple Pirates frozen float, and a Patrick's starberry shortcake pie, all in a pineapple box.
Incredible, right? That's marketing.
Yeah, they also have the SpongeBob King Jr. meal, which includes a hamburger, cheeseburger, or chicken nuggets, all served in a pineapple box with a crown.
Did you see any of the pictures of it?
Yeah, as I'm looking.
Okay, I didn't know if you saw the pictures.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, it looks really cool.
So there you go. Stranger Things 5 is coming out here very shortly, John.
Okay, so 4 already, they did that thing earlier, like in the year, right?
What?
Wasn't it recent? 4 and 5 were within the same calendar year or something?
Oh, no, 4 was a while ago.
Oh, I thought you were telling me it was being split into or is 5 being split into
5 is being split.
Okay.
Yeah, Stranger Things 4 came out years ago.
Okay, then 5 is being split as well.
5 is being split into 3 different. So we got Thanksgiving, and then we got Christmas, and then we got the finale on New Year's Eve, which is going to be shown in theaters as well. So you can watch it on Netflix or go into theaters to watch it.
Right.
KFC has launched a limited edition Stranger Things menu called the Hawkins Fried Chicken, celebrating the show's final season. It includes 2 exclusive items: the Stranger Things burger, featuring a spicy zinger filet, cheese, pickled slaw, and a sweet and spicy secret sauce. And so, yeah, that's what Stranger Things is doing. They're partnering with everybody.
With everyone.
You're going to start seeing Stranger Things everywhere.
We already are. It's getting annoying.
Did you watch the first 5 minutes of the season 5?
No, I can wait 2 weeks and just watch the whole episode.
Right.
Soft. Let me pull this up here. Let's see here. Crumble. There we go. So crumble cookie of the week, John. Ready for this? The Dubai chocolate cheesecake is a brand new item. The Dubai chocolate
cheesecake.
The Dubai chocolate is back in a cheesecake form. Chocolate chip cookie, caramel apple cookie, s'mores cookie, snickerdoodle cookie, mint chip ice cream cookie, strawberry cake cookie, and a semi-sweet chocolate chunk cookie.
All available today at Crumble Cookies, San Diego wide or nationwide. All right. Let's do it again tomorrow. John and Jim, 2 p.m. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app. Back tomorrow at 2 for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.